Chapter 134. The first thing that comes to Lin Luoran's mind is the foreign girl from last night when she calms down from the excitement of improving her personal ability. After being frozen for a whole night, he was fine, but how could such a small person endure it? Lin Luoran shakes off the snow on her body and feels worried. She sees the little girl sleeping soundly by her feet. Her face is ruddy and her breathing is normal. It seems that she is not frostbitten. Lin Luoran thinks for a while and suspects that the little girl is too close to her. When the water reiki fluctuated last night, the little girl was blessed and slept peacefully on the snowfield. How lucky! Lin Luoran wants to wake the little girl up. However, she doesn't know how long the little girl has been lost on the snowfield. Lin Luoran decides to go and make some preparations first. She was merciless when she killed her enemies, but because of her personality, she could not leave an innocent person to die. If she left such a young child alone on the snowfield, it would be no different from killing her with her own hands. Lin Luoran quickly climbs over the snow hill and disappears in the ice and snow. Tess feels that she has a very good sleep. She had a very interesting dream. She dreamed that she was lost in the middle of the night and met a fierce polar bear that was stealing the meat of her seal. Just as the polar bear was about to pounce on her, a fairy in a dress came out of the pearl that she had loved so much for the past few days. She easily scared the bear away and came to protect her. Thinking of this, Tess smiles even when she is half asleep. Her eyelashes flutter and she opens her eyes. Today is another sunny day. Father will be back soon, right? If she tells her friends in the tribe about her dream last night, will they believe it? Tess thinks of the children who often laugh at her for not having a mother. She thinks angrily that she will not tell them such a funny dream. But that fairy looks so beautiful. In the bitter cold of the Arctic, people have to wear thick clothes all year round. Tess has never seen any woman in the tribe wearing a dress. However, she knows what beauty is. Her father accidentally brings back a thick album from the small town. There are many women in the album called stars by her father. They have delicate skin and wear all kinds of dresses that expose their breasts and legs. Tess always wonders if they are not cold. But at the same time, in her eyes, those women in skirts were really beautiful. But none of them are as beautiful as my guardian fairy. Little Tess clenches her fists to dispel the sadness of not daring to look at the fairy's face in her dream last night. However, she finds that the bead in her hand is gone. Tess looks for it in a panic, only to find that it is not felt but cold snow under her body. He had actually slept in the snow last night. Was everything that happened last night real? Was it not a dream? Tess stands up and looks around. Not far away, there is a half-buried seal meat on the snow. This is not her igloo either. But she doesn't see the fairy in the snowy hills. Tess sat down, hugging her knees, and buried her head in them. Although she is precocious, she is only 10 years old after all. Thinking that she escaped from the polar bear last night, Tess is more afraid than happy. Her father has gone to the town. No one in the tribe will find out that she is missing. When her father comes back and brings people to find her, will she be like little Stone who went missing last year because of playing? When they find her, only half of her body is left. Thinking of how ugly she will become, Tess feels nauseous and almost vomits. Because of too many thoughts, the little girl doesn't want to eat the delicious seal meat. She is cold and hungry and she cries. She is wiping her tears when she suddenly smells something very fragrant. Little Tess couldn't help but raise her head. A figure in a long dress is walking towards her from the snow-covered hill. She is walking elegantly and nobly. The fragrance that Tess smelled comes from the stone pot in her hand. In this ordinary morning in the Arctic, this scene is deliberately imprinted in Tess's mind. If Tess had more words, she would know that the woman walking towards her is calm and indifferent, as if she is not walking in the cold Arctic, but in a courtyard in the south of the Yangtze River. Her skin is so white, as clear and transparent as the melting snow on the glacier in summer. Her hair is so black, and it looks like the glossy fur of a seal against the white background. Her dress is wrapped from her neck to her toes. Although her breasts and legs are not exposed, Tess feels that she is more beautiful than all the stars in the album combined. More importantly, she is Lin's guardian fairy. Because of the language barrier, Lin just smiles and puts the stone pot in front of the little girl who has woken up, telling her to eat. After waiting for a while, Lin Luoran looks at the stone pot in astonishment. The fish soup is milky white, with some tomatoes from her space and some green onions. The color and aroma of the soup are perfect. Why doesn't she eat it? Lin Luoran doesn't know what to say. Lin pushes the stone pot to little Tess. In fact, Tess is still immersed in the fact that the fairy is here all the time. She has no idea that she can eat the fish soup that smells so good. The Eskimos ate raw food because there was no place to start a fire in the cold Arctic. However, just like the Huaxia people occasionally ate sashimi and salads, they would not reject cooked food if they had a choice. Tess drinks up half of the pot of fish soup. If Lin Luoran doesn't doubt that the little girl hasn't eaten for days, Tess would even lick the bottom of the pot. Lin Luoran tries to touch the little girl's head, trying to give her some comfort. This kind gesture doesn't need to be explained in words. There is no boundary. Little Tess's eyes turn red and she almost cries again. Seeing that Tess can understand, Lin Luoran is overjoyed. She asks Tess for information about her family with gestures. Tess is puzzled for a long time. She can only draw an ice house with a dome. She can't tell which direction it is and what the features around it are. In fact, Tess is not to be blamed. The traditional Eskimos migrate with the seasons. Tess has been changing houses every year since she was a child. How can she remember the snowy land and the ice field? Lin Luoran sighs and holds her up. Tess feels that the fairy smells nice. She assumes that this is the smell of fairies. She buries her little head in Lin Luoran's arms unconsciously, as if she wants to remember this smell forever. The fairy, in Lin Luoran's eyes, frowns. It seems that the completion of the level of training Qi is not good enough. Lin Luoran sighs. What she needs most right now is not a brilliant spell or a powerful sword spell, but an ordinary GPS system. Lin Luoran soon puts these worries aside. At most, she will stay in the Arctic for 2 more days until she finds the little girl's family. Then she will go home. North, south, east, west, and north. Where is the little girl's family? Chapter 135. Little Tess is eating a peach in her hand. She almost buries her face in the peach. What she has eaten these days: roasted seal meat, boiled fish soup, stir-fried meat with chives, delicious peaches. Little Tess feels that she has eaten so many delicious foods that she will never be able to eat again in the rest of her life in the past 2 days. She wondered if she would be able to adapt to the life of eating raw food every day when she returned home. The more time she spends with Tess, the more Tess believes that she has met a fairy. If she is not a fairy, how can she not be afraid of the cold? How can she make a fire without fuel? How can she make all kinds of food that Tess has never seen? Tess puts a peach in her hat and plans to take it back to her father secretly. Lin Luoran notices what Tess is doing, but she is not in the mood to care. She has been walking in the wrong direction these days. She has been looking around for a while, but she doesn't see anyone. Actually, if she thinks about it carefully, how can a little girl travel on the ice land alone? Her home should be nearby. Lin Luoran's previous search area is too large, which is self-defeating. Lin Luoran walks back to the place where she met Tess for the first time. The wind and snow have covered up the traces, but they have been together for 2 days. Tess is really smart and sensible. She knows that the fairy may not understand her language, so she picks up the mosses on the ice land and repeats a word to herself. Lin Luoran learns the word and knows the meaning of the word. It may be a plant like mosses, which refers to the little girl's name. Tess is smart. Every time Lin Luoran makes food, she will fight to wash the fish and meat. Her hands are red from the cold, but she smiles brightly. Lin Luoran and Tess have a good time these days. If Tess has no family, Lin Luoran can take her home to accompany Luodong. Lin Luoran listens to the sound not far away. She feels that she is like a strange aunt who kidnaps and sells children. However, little Tess has a family. Lin Luoran is a little upset about this, but soon she feels happy for Tess. Lin Luoran thinks that it is fate for them to meet in the ice land and spend 2 days together. She casts a spell with her right hand and a mass of pure water Reiki goes into little Tess's head. Will little Tess become smarter with the nourishment of Reiki? Perhaps he could only wait for the test of time, but there was no harm in doing so. In a hurry, Lin Luoran looks all over her body but finds no souvenirs. She bought several ancient jade plates from Panjiayuan in order to study the protective jade plates. Later, she copied the magic circles on the jade plates. In order to enter the secret land to practice spells, she has no time to test them. Lin Luoran takes one out, thinks for a while, and casts a spell of the nature of gold. Gold is the sharpest among the 5 elements. On the ice land, the gold element is very thin. Lin Luoran makes a lot of effort to cast the bee-tail spell. As the name suggests, this spell is like the stinger of a wasp, which is used for sneak attack. Lin Luoran holds the stinger in her hand and moves it quickly on the jade plate. After a while, she blows off the dust and 2 human figures appear on the small jade plate. They are Lin Luoran's profile and Tessa's smiling face. There is also a line of small words engraved in the language of Huaxia, for little Tess at the North Pole. Lin Luoran hangs the jade plate around little Tessa's neck and takes out a peach to coax her. Lin Luoran touches little Tessa's head and says slowly word by word in the language of Huaxia, Lin Luoran. Tess is overjoyed to receive the gift. She knows that these syllables must be the fairy's name. She lowers her head and says it in her heart several times. She raises her head happily and wants to say that she remembers it. However, there is nothing but whiteness around and the fairy is nowhere to be seen. Tess suddenly realizes that the beautiful plate is a parting gift. She stands there and looks around. Her eyes turn red and then she bursts into tears. After the sound of crying reaches the snow hill, a man is overjoyed. He drags his tired feet and shouts, "Tess, where are you?" His daughter is not dead. The hunter has been looking for Lin Luoran and the others for 2 days, but they always miss each other. Unexpectedly, the hunter doesn't give up. He searches again and finally finds his daughter. Tess hears her father's voice and shouts, "I'm here." The hunter climbs over the snow hill and hugs Tess tightly in his arms. Tess buries her head in her father's robe. She looks at other people in the tribe behind her and hides the peach under her clothes. She doesn't tell anyone about her encounter with the fairy. The jade plate is hanging around her neck. Tess hides in her father's arms. Thinking of how Lin Luoran has taken care of her these days, she feels that the feelings that she has been missing since she was a little girl are now filled. Is it maternal love? Tess doesn't know. She holds the peach tightly and thinks sadly, will they ever see each other again? How would he be able to see his fairy sister again? In fact, Lin Luoran is not far away from the snow hill. Her excellent eyesight enables her to see what is happening here. Although she has sensed that some people are coming and they seem to be looking for someone, she still needs to see with her own eyes that they are really Tess's family members. Seeing Tess in the arms of a man, Lin Luoran smiles with relief. Glancing at little Tess again, Lin Luoran turns around and disappears into the snow without looking back. She can clearly feel that the temperature in the North Pole is gradually rising. Is summer really coming? Seeing that Tess is back in the arms of her family, Lin Luoran misses them even more. This time, she doesn't delay anymore. After walking on the snow field for 2 days, she is lucky enough to find a place with people. Lin Luoran eavesdrops for a while. Coincidentally, the family she chooses has just moved from the United States and they are not used to the climate here. The hostess complains to the man and then Lin Luoran knows that this is Norway. She was wearing a dress, but she couldn't show her face in public. She could only steal one of the hostess's down jackets and leave a few big red peaches as money for the clothes. She came and went quietly, and no one knew when she left. Lin Luoran smiles when she sees the down jacket, which is obviously 2 circles too big. She follows the bus of the town and goes to the nearby city. Then she exchanges some US dollars and buys suitable clothes and shoes. She also buys a cap with a large brim and a pair of sunglasses which can cover half of her face. Lin Luoran is very satisfied with her dress. She is not trying to be cool. It is just that she went to Hawaii in a normal way. Her passport doesn't say that she will come to Norway. If she goes back on her sword, she may be photographed by a tourist on a plane tomorrow. Lin Luoran doesn't want to be on the world page. There are also rules between the world of cultivation and the ordinary world. It is the exchange condition for the government to support cultivators not to expose her identity and cause trouble to the government. Lin Luoran wanders around the city. She goes wherever it is said to be dark. It takes her 2 days to find the local gangsters in every city and ask them to make a fake passport. These people who dare to make fake passports are all dirty. Seeing that Lin Luoran is alone and half of her face is so beautiful, they are very dishonest. They ask Lin Luoran to act like Popeye and break the steel bar of a baby's arm with her bare hands. These local gangsters are so scared that they don't dare to be presumptuous anymore. That night, they send the things to the hotel where Lin Luoran lives. They don't even want to pay the other half of the money. They give the leather bag to the front desk of the hotel and run away tremblingly. Lin Luoran takes the fake passport and looks it up and down. It is no different from her real one. It is true that money talks. On some occasions, it is not an exaggeration to say that it is true. After successfully booking a ticket back home, Lin Luoran pats her head. Why didn't she contact home first? She has been delayed for so long. Her family must be worried about her. Well, anyway, it is only 2 days. It is good to surprise Mr. and Mrs. Lin. Of course, it is impossible to go back empty-handed. Speaking of Norway's specialties, Baojia has always loved salmon. If she doesn't bring more back, she will feel sorry for coming here. As for the local goat cheese, it is said that even the French, who are proud of cheese, love it. Of course, Baojia will buy more. Anyway, there is still a lot of space in the space. She will make the best use of this natural fresh-keeping cabinet. It has been 2 days when Lin Luoran gets off the plane to Rong City after many twists and turns. Sure enough, it is early summer. The girls in our city who have been wrapped up for a whole winter have begun to put on this year's new high-heeled shoes and skirts. Such beautiful scenery can be seen everywhere outside the airport. Lin Luoran takes a breath of the air of her hometown. Although it is not as fresh as the unpolluted air in the North Pole, as the saying goes, the moon is the light of home. She finds a taxi and goes straight to the foot of Mount Qingqing. I have to go to the class reunion these 2 days. I don't update much, so I try to make up for it. Chapter 136. The back of Mount Qingqing is a sparsely populated place. Real estate companies have developed many single-family villas along the mountain. These buildings built in the beautiful Mount Qingqing have the same price as the class they represent. Speaking of which, Lin Luoran once read in a real estate magazine more than a year ago. The price of a villa is about 40 to 50 million yuan. Although the people are getting richer and richer, most of the wealth of a rich man is in real estate. Few people are willing to spend 40 to 50 million yuan to buy a holiday villa. Therefore, Lin Luoran read in a magazine that most of the villas here are for rent. Even so, the high rent is daunting for Lin Luoran, who is not even a white-collar worker. Where is she now if she is not cultivating? Lin Luoran gets out of the taxi and stares at the entrance of the villa group in a daze. A year ago, she would never have imagined that one day, she would own such a house. Cultivation was not for wealth and honor, but if one could cultivate while making the lives of themselves and their loved ones better, no one would be stupid enough to refuse such an opportunity. Lin Luoran makes a mistake when she enters the villa. The guard has never seen the owner of the villa in a taxi. If Lin Luoran is not beautiful, he might not even pay attention to her. Fortunately, this villa is under Lin Luoran's name. She shows her ID card and gets in smoothly. The villa is surrounded by mountain roads. The place where Mr. and Mrs. Lin live is at the innermost corner. There is a blue stone pier outside the single-family villa. In front of the door, there is a big lake which separates it from other villas. With some natural barriers, it is very private. It is nearly 10 o'clock in the evening, but there is no light in the villa. Are they all asleep? Baojia is not a person who goes to bed so early. Lin Luoran feels strange. Seeing that the door is unlocked, she sneaks in. There is no sound of breathing in the house. It is not that the villa is asleep, but that no one is inside. Where are Mr. and Mrs. Lin, Baojia, and Luodong? Lin Luoran first suspects that they have returned to their home in our city, but she denies it immediately. Although the security work of the villa is good, it is not enough to let them go home without closing the door. Is something wrong? Lin Luoran feels uneasy at the thought of this, even if there is only a slim possibility. Lin Luoran runs across the lawn in front of the villa and comes to the house. The door is not locked. Lin Luoran pushes the door open and checks the house quickly. Fortunately, everything in the house is in good order and there is no trace of disorder. It seems that nothing happened at home. Mr. Lin and the others should be safe. Maybe Mr. Lin and the others went out for a walk? No matter how he looked at it, he felt that this was more likely. Lin Luoran breathes a sigh of relief and starts to look around the villa. As the nominal owner, it is the first time for her to see her second property. Different from the Lin mansion in Chengdu, this villa was pure European style. There was a total of 3 floors. Because it was hidden in the gaps between the towering trees, the third floor had a large floor-to-ceiling glass window. It was estimated that one could overlook the scenery of the mountain from upstairs. Also, because of the shade of the trees, it was cool even in the summer, so there was no need to be afraid of the scorching sun. The area of the house alone was 700 or 800 square meters, let alone 3 floors high. The space of the house was enough for Lin Luoran's 7 aunts and relatives to live here, not to mention Lin Luoran's family. The yard was surrounded by iron railings, and there was a huge open-air swimming pool inside. The rest of the yard was paved with grass, and there was a circle of roses in the corner, which were in full bloom in the past 2 days. There was also a swing under the vines. At first glance, it looked no different from an ordinary villa, but the details were exquisite and different. Wait, what is that round thing in the corner? Lin Luoran looked carefully and couldn't help but laugh. The cowpea vines and eggplants on the bamboo rack were just right. The round purple eggplants and the long cowpeas were not shy at all in this European-style mansion. This must be the masterpiece of Mrs. Lin. Mr. Lin was passionate about cooking, and he didn't worry about where the ingredients came from at all. Lin Luoran was thinking whether she should give some seeds optimized by the space to Mrs. Lin. Suddenly, she heard a girl's laughter, which was as clear as the crisp plums that would only be on the market in summer. Lin Luoran couldn't help but stand still and listen. The longer Lin Luoran listened, the wider the smile on her face became. In the end, she was so happy that she almost became a fool. Under the dim street light, Baojia reminded Mrs. Lin to be careful and slowed down to wait for Mr. Lin. In Baojia's arms, Luo Dong was asleep. Young Master An's vegetarian dishes are really good. Is he patient with Luo Dong? Baojia, do you think we should invite him back? It was Mrs. Lin who often went to the Taoist temple at the back of the mountain to freeload meals. She was impressed by young Master An's cooking, so she felt embarrassed after eating for a long time. The taste of those vegetables was not any worse than the vegetables Xiao Ran brought back in the past. They were both eggplants, but they were grown by themselves. No matter how they cooked it, it would not taste the same. Baojia was in a cold sweat. The young master and that Mrs. Lin mentioned was the eldest apprentice of the Qingqing school. That old Taoist loved him a lot. Every time An cooked, Baojia knew that An would be scolded. A cultivator who was obsessed with pots and pans all day long would definitely make his master angry. Baojia and her parents had moved to the Qingqing villa for more than 3 months. At first, she took care of Baojia's parents on behalf of her best friend. As time went by, Mrs. Lin took great care of Baojia. Although Mr. Lin didn't like to talk, he knew that Baojia loved to eat fish. He always caught some wild fish for Baojia under the guise of fishing. Sometimes, Baojia even thought that if her parents were still alive, they would be in the same situation. These 3 months were the best and warmest days in Baojia's life. How nice it would be if Luoran was here. Thinking of the news from the capital that her best friend had been missing for more than 2 months, Baojia hides the worry in her eyes and smiles with her mother again. She hasn't told her parents the news yet. The excuse she gave was that her best friend was working for the country and couldn't contact the outside world. If Luoran still didn't come back, Baojia really didn't know how to make it up. Sure enough, as soon as Baojia thought of this, Mrs. Lin began to nag again. What's going on? There are so many people in the state of Huaxia. Why did Luoran have to do some damn task? She didn't even come back for the new year. Now it's almost summer, and she didn't even have a phone call. Mrs. Lin never stopped talking in front of her acquaintances. Now that her life is carefree, she is more cheerful. She is no longer the same as she was when she was in Lee's village. She seemed to be born inferior because she didn't have the same surname. Mr. Lin is still the same. Hearing Mrs. Lin's complaints, he can't help retorting, no matter how capable she is still from the state of Huaxia. What's wrong with helping the country occasionally? You old lady, you talk too much. Mrs. Lin is angry. Which part of me is old? Mr. Lin looks at his wife, who has changed a lot. Her hair is black. Except for the wrinkles around her eyes are bright and her teeth are white. She really doesn't look old at all. Mr. Lin can only keep his mouth shut and let Mrs. Lin scold him. In fact, compared with Mrs. Lin, Mr. Lin has changed the most. Both of them have become younger. Mr. Lin not only looks like a man under 40, but his facial features stand out when he is young. He looks like an elegant and mature man. Mrs. Lin feels it unfair. In fact, as a woman, she is more or less worried that Mr. Lin doesn't like her. It is said that a daughter takes after her father. In fact, Luoran's facial features are mostly inherited from Mr. Lin. Therefore, when Mr. Lin becomes younger and he is no longer dressed like an old farmer, his temperament naturally stands out. Seeing that Baojia and Lin Luoran start to talk about this old contradiction again, Baojia feels a headache. Women always love to be beautiful. Mrs. Lin doesn't mind. Unless Luoran's appearance is better than Mr. Lin's, there is nothing she can do. She has walked past the Bluestone Pier. Holding Luodong in one hand, Baojia pushes open the door of the villa. Under the light from outside the wall, there is a pretty figure standing there. Baojia takes a while to recognize the familiar face. Baojia almost cries. Standing in the grass is her best friend who has been missing for more than 2 months. Her eyes are also shining with tears, Lin Luoran, who seems to be prettier than before. Why don't you go in? Mrs. Lin is wondering why Baojia is standing at the door. After a few steps, she sees her daughter standing under the street light. Ah! She rushes over and hugs Lin Luoran regardless of her tears. Lun, you are finally back. Mrs. Lin hasn't seen Lin Luoran for more than 3 months. She is on a mission that they can't even contact. Mrs. Lin feels that Lin Luoran is all right. She holds Lin Luoran in her arms and doesn't want to let go. Lin Luoran comforts her mother and says, "Dad." Mr. Lin secretly wipes away the tears on his face with his sleeve and says, "It's good that you are back. It's good that you are back. Baojia, thank you for your hard work in the past 3 months." Lin Luoran looks at Baojia seriously. She is sincerely grateful to Baojia for helping her to hide the truth of her disappearance. It seems that her parents don't know that she has disappeared. Baojia blinks back her tears and hits Lin Luoran. "Don't thank me. Why are we talking about these things?" Luodong is woken up by the voices of the adults and Baojia's movements. He opens his eyes in a daze and sees Lin Luoran. He thinks he is dreaming, so he murmurs and falls asleep again. Lin Luoran's childish behavior sweeps away the sad atmosphere. Even Mr. Lin, who is always strict, laughs. The family walks into the house together. Lin Luoran is half a step behind them. Looking at her young parents and lively Baojia, she feels warm. It's good to be home at the same time, in an ordinary wooden house in the backyard of the Qingcheng Taoist temple, which is a few kilometers away from Luodong. An old Taoist opens his eyes. Oh, she's back? Master Mu and Master Mu are worrying for nothing. How could such a lucky girl get into trouble? A head pops in through the crack of the door, revealing the baby face of young Taoist and, "Master, who did you say was lucky?" Smelling the smell of fried tofu on his apprentice, the old Taoist is furious. He has been a cultivator for so many years. Why did he find such an apprentice in the first place? The old Taoist is angry, and the consequences are serious. Chapter 137. That night, it takes a long time for the lights in Lin's villa to go out. Lin Luoran tells Baojia about her experience in the Arctic. Not only is Baojia fascinated, even Mr. Lin, who is full of youth, is bold for once. He holds Mrs. Lin's hand under the table and promises that he will take Mrs. Lin to travel around in the future so that her trip to this world will not be in vain. Lin Luoran also learns that Mr. Lin becomes younger not only because of the skin beauty bolus she makes, but also because after Lin Luoran left home, Mr. Lin insisted on practicing the breathing and practicing qi taught by his daughter every day. 2 months later, he has the sense of qi. The self-made spirit stones left by Lin Luoran are all absorbed by Mr. Lin. That is why Mr. Lin's appearance has changed dramatically. As for Mrs. Lin, she doesn't have the sense of qi. She now looks like she is in her early 40s, but it is all because of the efficacy of the Skin Beauty Bolus. This is a prescription from the Lin family's medicine book, which is very effective. Lin Luoran makes the bolus with the herbs in her space, so it is as effective as some low-level boluses in the world of cultivation. Besides, Mrs. Lin is just burdened by life. Women in the countryside usually get married and have children early. Lin Luoran is 28 years old now, and Mrs. Lin used to look old, but she is actually in her early 40s. Therefore, although the Skin Beauty Bolus is effective, it can only make Mrs. Lin look much better than her real age. Mrs. Lin used to look too old, so there is a gap between her and her mother. The bolus made by Lin Luoran with ordinary fire cannot have such a rejuvenating effect. Tired from the journey, Lin Luoran chooses to sleep instead of cultivating. Lying in the bedroom that Mrs. Lin has prepared for her, Lin Luoran looks at the stars in the sky through the skylight. There are both good and bad things. The good thing is that Mr. Lin has the sense of qi. His natural endowments aside, it is obvious that he has the Taoist root. As for why she is worried, it is obvious that Mrs. Lin doesn't have the sense of qi. Is it because of her natural endowments or because she doesn't have the Taoist root? Lin Luoran sighs. If the whole family can cultivate and travel in the boundless world hand in hand, how comfortable it will be. Lin Luoran comforts herself with worry. It is normal for the offspring of cultivators and mortals to have the Taoist root for several generations, just like Commander Qin's family. Lin Luoran has the Taoist root. If Mr. Lin doesn't have the Taoist root, it can be inherited. However, Mr. Lin has the sense of qi. Why can't Mrs. Lin have the Taoist root? Lin Luoran goes to sleep with a heart full of worries. There is only one thought in her mind, which is to figure it out. If her mother really has no Taoist root, what should she do? Lin Luoran ignores this question intentionally or unintentionally. The next morning, Lin Luoran gets up especially early. When Baojia goes to Lin Luoran's room to wake her up, Lin Luoran is already gone. Baojia looks around and finds that Lin Luoran is shaking her feet on a big branch behind the villa. Baojia is so carefree and childish. Even though Baojia has the Taoist root, she has only learned some breathing techniques from Lin Luoran. Baojia is on the verge of training qi into her body. She doesn't have the bead as Lin Luoran does, but she has to refine Reiki every day like Wen Guanjing and other modern cultivators. Therefore, she is just a beginner and is still far away from the beginning of training qi. When Baojia is about to say something, Lin Luoran shows 5 balls of light in different colors in her hand and smiles at her friend weirdly. Baojia asks cautiously, "Linny, what are you going to do?" Lin Luoran pretends to be fascinated. "It's lonely living in the mountain. Of course, I want to have sex." Baojia is about to spit at her when the 5 balls of light suddenly fly to her. She thinks that Lin Luoran is teasing her, so she screams. The 5 balls of light circle Baojia, who is screaming for a while. Baojia is surprised. She seems to notice that the 5 balls of light are not dangerous but good. They are not ordinary 5-colored balls of light. They are peaceful and harmless Reiki of 5 natures. For Baojia, who has suffered enough from the bad temper of Reiki, the 5 balls of light are more attractive than a good car in front of her. Baojia doesn't care about the dirt on the ground. She sits down and starts to absorb the Reiki on the spot. Among the 5 natures of Reiki, the green one is absorbed into Baojia's body first, and then the blue one is also absorbed. The remaining 3 balls of Reiki dissipate without any wind. They slowly dissipate and disappear again. The natures of water and wood. Just like Commander Qin's grandmother, Baojia has inherited it from another generation. Lin Luoran doesn't disturb her friend. Instead, she jumps down from the treetop easily. Cultivators with the Taoist root usually have to be in the level of laying foundation to identify the nature of a person with the Taoist root. That's because ordinary cultivators can't possess all 5 elements. They can't borrow Reiki of other natures when they are in the level of training Qi. Only when they are in the level of laying foundation can they use the coexistence between the 5 elements to sense Reiki of other natures for a short time like Master Mu. Then they can really identify the nature of a person's Taoist root. However, this is not a limitation for Lin Luoran, because she can sense all the 5 natures. Should she identify the Taoist root for her parents? Lin Luoran thinks that her mother hasn't found the sense of Qi yet, and she is not ready to face the worst yet. Therefore, she decides to put this problem off for a while. Baojia finishes absorbing Reiki and rushes into the dining room after the breakfast prepared by Mrs. Lin. Luo Dong is expressing his dissatisfaction that Baojia didn't wake him up last night with angry eyes. Luo Dong rushes into the dining room and shouts, "Someone is bullying me just because he has a higher level of cultivation. Mrs. Lin, you have to help me." Lin Luoran doesn't hide and says slowly, "Bullying? I was going to give her a treasure when she enters the early stage of training Qi. That's why I helped her. Alas, my kindness is misunderstood. It seems that I can save my treasure." Lin Luoran deliberately stresses the word Baojia, which hits Baojia's weakness of curiosity. She asks suspiciously, "Are you serious? What treasure do you want to give me? Tell me and I'll let you go. Otherwise, humph." Lin Luoran shakes her head. "I can't tell you now. You have to work hard." Baojia glares at Lin Luoran. She has to use her ultimate weapon now. When Baojia is about to tickle Lin Luoran, her mother knocks on their heads with chopsticks. "How old are the 2 of you? Hurry up and eat breakfast." Mrs. Lin, who has changed her appearance and temper recently, says what she wants. No one dares to talk back. Baojia has to eat her porridge obediently. Lin Luoran also tells Baojia that she has seeds to offer to Lin Luoran. Mrs. Lin's eyes light up. She is becoming more and more picky. She is not convinced that An is better at eating vegetarian food. Therefore, she has been thinking of returning the invitation. Now that her daughter is back and she has enough ingredients, she puts the invitation on the agenda. More importantly, if she can grow such delicious vegetables, An will be begging her to eat vegetarian food. In that case, An will be able to eat vegetarian food whenever he wants. Mr. Lin is happy to see that his mother is interested in his daughter's words. At least now that his mother has something to do, she doesn't have to worry about her appearance all the time. Good. Grow vegetables. Luo Dong is interested in playing in the mud. He claps his hands and agrees. Hearing this, Baojia speeds up. She eats porridge like a whirlwind, which makes everyone in the room snicker at the same time. In the Qingqing Taoist temple at the back of the mountain, the baby-faced young master An is working hard to make tofu pudding. He suddenly sneezes. Young Taoist An scratched his head. Who is thinking about him? A younger brother rushes in. Seeing that An is making food again, he is so angry that he pulls An's sleeve and says, "Brother, the master is looking for you." Chapter 138. After breakfast, Lin Luoran takes out some seeds of the vegetables and fruits in her space and gives them to her mom. In fact, the yard of this European-style mansion is full of peppers and cowpeas, which affects the overall harmony. However, Lin Luoran is a person who doesn't mind if her parents demolish the house and rebuild it as long as they are happy. Therefore, Lin Luoran just lets her mom decide what to plant. It's not that Lin Luoran is such a foodie that she thinks about food all day long. Well, life is long. Although food is indispensable, the desire for good food is one of the reasons. What's more important is that all the vegetables and fruits in the secular world are made with pesticides. When you go to the supermarket, you will find that the vegetables in the market are clean and there are no bug eyes on the cabbage. Is this normal? As for meat, there are all kinds of additives which can also make people panic. It is said that even steamed buns have to be made. Living in the city, there is really no food that can be eaten safely. In the past, they had no choice. Now that they have the space, their parents have more free time. They don't have to work on the farm to make a living like before. Now they have a lot of time to take care of the flowers and vegetables, which are also the spiritual sustenance of their parents. What's more, the vegetables and fruits cultivated in the space have the effect of removing toxins from the human body and slowly improving the body's physique. For ordinary people, it just makes the body healthier. For cultivators, it is also a kind of auxiliary cultivation. If the vegetables and fruits are planted well, it is not strange that they can evolve into spirit vegetables and spirit fruits. Mrs. Lin instructs Mr. Lin to loosen the soil around the iron fence in the back of the villa and the yard. Lin Luoran is afraid that the optimized seeds in the space will be wasted, so she takes out a pile of soil from the space and spreads it on the ground where Mrs. Lin is going to plant the seeds. Luodong is sent to water the seeds. Of course, the water in the space is diluted by the water in the spring. Anyway, the soil in the space is endless and the water will not be less. Baojia is bored, so Lin Luoran simply gives her the task of planting the soil, and she is going to add some security barriers to the villa. The lotus seeds in her hand are collected by Lin Luoran in the secret land. They are called iron thorns. Although they are not spirit herbs and cannot be used as medicines, Lin Luoran will not collect them for nothing. She plants the iron thorns, one by one against the wall. After watering them, she casts a spell with her right hand and casts a wood spell called Growth Spell, which is at the same level as Healing Spell. Green light gathers on Lin Luoran's fingertips. Baojia has been so eager recently that she can't help but stop to watch Lin cast the spell. Lin Luoran finishes a set of spells and the growth spell takes shape in her hands. She says, "Spell finished. Go." The green light in her hand blossomed and turned into a rain of wood reiki, accurately watering every iron thorn seed. With a slight cracking sound, the iron thorn seedling broke through the hard outer shell, passed through the thick layer of soil, and popped out its head with 2 leaves on top. Baojia's eyes almost pop out. Mr. and Mrs. Lin also stop what they are doing. As for Luodong, this totally subverts his worldview. He blinks his big eyes and no one knows what he is thinking. Lin Luoran's forehead is covered with sweat. Although she has reached the consummation of training qi, she can freely cast these spells which used to be very difficult. However, this time she casts them in such a large area that she is still a little tired. When the iron thorns grew 4 or 5 leaves, the growth spell was different from the binding spell. The growth spell could instantly strengthen the various functions of plants and turn the grass into something as tough and slender as iron wires to hurt people. However, the growth spell consumed the plant's life essence. Growth spell is different. It uses the pure reiki of the wood to speed up the growth of plants without destroying their vitality. Although the speed is relatively slow, it is a long-term solution. At first, Lin Luoran is shocked when she sees the growth spell. Though it is slower than the space, it can be cast by cultivators in the later stage of training qi. What's the advantage of her space? Fortunately, Lin Luoran sees a row of small red words at the end of the note. It is a warning to rookies like Lin Luoran that this spell should not be cast on spirit herbs and spirit materials. Otherwise, the herbs and materials will lose their efficacy. Lin Luoran breathes a sigh of relief. At the same time, she has an evil thought. Judging from the exclamation marks on the note of this spell, many people must have done this. They have destroyed countless spirit herbs and reiki materials. That's why the senior practitioner who wrote Spells of the 5 Elements is so angry. Seeing that Lin Luoran stops and the seedlings stop growing, Baojia is so envious that she almost drools. "Linny, you should have done this earlier. Uncle Yuan is the father of rice. How many crops can you get in a year with just a wave of your hand?" Lin Luoran is embarrassed. Is this a compliment? Baojia doesn't know what's going on. She continues to talk nonsense. How awesome would that be? Think about it. Every day, you'll be flying all over the place to cast spells. That's how bold a person is, how productive the land is. Lin Luoran's temples are throbbing because of Baojia's compliments. She remembers the first time they met 10 years ago. At that time, Baojia was still a cold female knight. How come she becomes like this now? Before she was injured, she was a domineering lady. When did she become so talkative? Lin Luoran suspects that Baojia has been led astray by her mother. Stop. You have the nature of water and wood. I will leave this difficult task to you. You don't even need to water the plants. You can benefit the people of the state of Huaxia alone. Baojia's eyes are shining. In fact, she says so much because she is envious of Lin Luoran's awesome spell. As for the fact that she has the nature of water and wood, Baojia has already asked the old Taoist in the Qingsheng Taoist temple to identify her. If one day she can make everything grow. While Baojia is immersed in her dream, Lin Luoran bursts into laughter. Sister Baojia, you must be dreaming again. If you don't practice hard, you won't be able to do that even after 10 years. Baojia knows that Lin Luoran is encouraging her. She hums and ignores it. It's almost noon. Baojia takes Mrs. Lin's hand to prepare lunch. Lin Luoran smiles and shakes her head. She notices that Luo Dong is looking at her with curiosity. Lin Luoran wonders if she should test whether he has the Taoist root or not. However, no matter whether he has the Taoist root or not, Lin Luoran's first priority is to solve his autism. Lin Luoran pulls Luo Dong up and shushes him. She whispers, "Let's go. I'll take you to plant trees." Luo Dong blinks and follows Lin Luoran to the back of the villa. Luo Dong is wondering why Lin Luoran is being so mysterious about planting trees. Lin Luoran digs 2 big holes on the side of the villa and disappears in front of Luo Dong. Luo Dong is so anxious that he is about to inform his parents. However, Lin Luoran shows up in front of Luo Dong with a peach tree in her hand. In fact, there is nothing strange about a peach tree. What is strange is that no one plants a peach tree with red and big peaches on it. Watching Lin Luoran planting trees and picking a peach to eat, the little boy feels that his worldview is overturned again. Even though he is autistic, he can't hold it anymore. After thinking for a while, he rushes into the house, ready to talk to Baojia, who has been nice to him in the past 3 months, about such a strange thing. When Luo Dong runs into the house, a head pops out of the iron gate of the villa. Young Taoist and has a baby face. Although he is handsome, he is a little jumpy in his Taoist robe. "Excuse me, is Sister Lin here?" Baojia doesn't know that it is his birthday until his mom calls him today. Although Baojia has 2 birthdays in a year, please praise him for not going out to play and updating. Chapter 139. At that time, Lin Luoran is burying the soil with her feet. Her casual shoes are covered with yellow mud. She looks up and sees a handsome little Taoist looking at the door. He must be a cultivator if he can get to her without her noticing. "I'm flattered. My family name is Lin. Taoist, are you here for me?" Lin Luoran looks at him gracefully. She can't tell how old he is, but the cultivator in the Taoist robe must be from the Qingsheng Taoist temple in the back of the mountain. "Sister Lin, I'm flattered. You can just call me an young Taoist and is like Li Shi. He grew up in the mountains. Although tourism is developed, tourists are not allowed to go to the small Taoist temple where he lives. Except for Baojia, young Taoist and rarely sees young girls." Seeing Lin Luoran smiling at him, he blushes suspiciously. Why doesn't he have a Taoist name? Lin Luoran is surprised that and doesn't call himself "poor Taoist" or something like that. However, she still salutes back. After confirming Lin Luoran's identity, young Taoist presents a small wooden box to her. He says, "Sister Lin, the Taoist temple heard that you are safe now, so the Taoist temple asked me to give you a small gift. Please accept it." His genteel words are embarrassing. Young Taoist doesn't want to say it, but his forehead is still hurting. He is afraid that his master will hurt him again. Therefore, he has to say it like he is reciting from a book. "A small gift?" Lin Luoran blushes. After all, the superior of Qingsheng Taoist temple has taken care of the Lin family. She hasn't even bought a gift yet, but the superior of Qingsheng Taoist temple has sent her a congratulatory gift. Even though the superior of Qingsheng Taoist temple may have some ulterior motives, he is really nice to her. Thinking of this, Lin Luoran takes the wooden box in a hurry. Young Taoist finds that Lin Luoran is easy to talk to, so he is less restrained. He says, "Sister Lin, the Taoist temple has informed others about your return last night. Please don't blame us for being nosy. She has been missing for more than 2 months. When Guanjing and Li Shi must be worried about her. Goldie has also been away from her. She wonders if it has caused trouble for others. Last night, Mrs. Lin said that Sister Wang and her husband often called to say hello to her. At that time, Baojia didn't tell them the address of the Lin family for the sake of their safety. Now that she is back, it is time to invite them to a gathering. Young master and is here? Hearing people talking in the yard, Mrs. Lin comes out in an apron. Seeing it is young master and who Mrs. Lin always wants to show off her cooking skills. Mrs. Lin smiles happily and asks An to stay for lunch. Seeing that her mother is in a good mood, Lin Luoran calls Wang Miao Yi and her husband. They live in our city and it won't take them long to get to Mao Qingqing. Lin Luoran decides to have a party with her friends. Seeing that Luodong is in a good mood, and finally shows his childish side. They go to the 2 transplanted peach trees together. Lin Luoran lets them do as they please. The outside world is different from the space where ripe peaches can be left unpicked. However, these peaches are ripe. If they don't eat them soon, the fruit will fall. Hearing Lin Luoran's voice, Wang Miao Yi is very happy. Lin Luoran feels that Wang Miao Yi is sobbing and she is worried that something bad has happened to her family. However, Wang Miao Yi's voice is full of joy. Fatty Chui promises that he will be there within an hour. Lin Luoran smiles and goes to cook with Mrs. Lin. Lunch in the Lin family is bound to be a sumptuous one. Young master and is obviously more qualified to be a foodie than the whole Lin family. Hearing that his friends are coming, he takes Luodong to the mountain. Within half an hour, he comes back with 2 rabbits and a colorful pheasant. Luodong even carries a small basket of wild mushrooms in his clothes. It seems that An has not only found the ingredients but also prepared the side dishes. The salmon that Lin Luoran brought back from Norway is fresh in the space. It is even purer than those high-end Japanese restaurants that claim to have flown in by air. Baojia secretly eats some of the salmon before it is served. The pheasant is stewed with mushrooms, the rabbit is chopped and stir-fried, and the seal is barbecued. Even Baojia can't help but murmur that the table is full of wild game. Not to mention the vegetarian dishes, the leek in the space is delicious enough to fry an egg. Mrs. Lin is not sure whether the eggplant that Lin Luoran makes is better to make eggplant with garlic sauce or braised eggplant with oil. Looking at the high-grade ingredients with reiki all over the place, young master An is so itchy that he doesn't know where to put them. However, Mrs. Lin wants to show off and forbids him from cooking. Young master An can't help but scratch his ears and rub his nose. He feels that watching the high-grade ingredients being put into the pot without being able to cook is 100 times more painful than being beaten by his master. When the dishes are almost ready, Lin Luoran secretly hides in the basement. She already has an idea of what to give the superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple. However, the gift box is not ready yet, so she has to hurry. Baojia moves all the raw stones she won from gambling in Rueli, including the 2 stones she bought in Panjiayuan in the capital. Baojia piles them up in the basement. Lin Luoran picks a raw stone which is as big as a bowl and is about 20 centimeters long. She doesn't need to use the machine at all. The sharpness of the spell of gold is much better than that of a cutting machine. When Lin Luoran neatly unwraps the jade and carves it into 3 jade bottles of the same size, Mrs. Lin announces that dinner is ready. Lin Luoran takes out the monkey wine from her space and fills 3 different spirit wines with different ages into the jade bottles. Lin Luoran finds a piece of red ribbon to tie the bottles, which adds a bit of nobility. Although this piece of jade is not very good, no one in the mortal world would use it to carve wine bottles. Lin Luoran doesn't want to waste the reiki of the monkey wine. It's just that everyone knows that the reiki on the earth can be locked by jade. Outside Lin Luoran's space, even the best monkey wine will lose its reiki and become ordinary wine. The gift sent by the superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple to Lin Luoran is in a wooden box. Lin Luoran does the same thing. She finds a piece of wood and carves a bigger box. She spreads the silk cloth on the box and puts the 3 jade bottles in it. After thinking for a while, Lin Luoran weaves a small basket with willow twigs and puts the peaches she picked from the space in it. Mrs. Lin has urged Lin Luoran to have dinners several times. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to disobey. She has prepared a gift in return, so she goes to wash her hands. With the sound of a car engine, Lin sees a familiar Hummer through the iron fence. Sister Wang and her husband have arrived. Lin Luoran rushes out to pick them up. Fatty Chui gets out of the driver's seat. He is still fat and his face is ruddy, which makes him look wretched. He runs to the other side and opens the door of the passenger seat in a flattering way. Lin Luoran wonders why Wang Miao-yi is so ladylike today. Then she sees a beautiful woman in her 30s getting out of the door of the passenger seat. She is wearing a well-tailored beige dress. Her skin is not very white, but definitely not dark. She is slim and full of mature charm. Is this Sister Wang? Lin Luoran is even more surprised than when she saw her parents. Wang Miao-yi not only changes her skin color but also loses weight, revealing her beautiful face. Lin Luoran doesn't dare to recognize her for a while. Seeing Lin Luoran's stupefied look, Wang Miao-yi feels embarrassed. She still acts like a tigress and says, "It's all because of you. What kind of pills did you give me? I can't believe I changed so much after taking one bottle." Lin Luoran pats her head. She made the skin beauty bolus for Wang Miao-yi. How can she forget this? Fatty Chui bows to Wang Miao. Lin Luoran knows that Sister Wang used to be so beautiful. She just took some pills to have a baby, which broke the balance of her body. That's why she became fat and dark. Although they have been together for many years, no husband will complain about his wife becoming beautiful again. Seeing that Fatty Chui flatters Sister Wang even more, Lin Luoran is happy that she can do something for her friend to make the relationship between Sister Wang and Fatty Chui more harmonious. Lin Luoran steps forward to help Wang Miao-yi, who is embarrassed. When her hand touches Wang Miao-yi's, Lin Luoran notices something wrong in Wang Miao-yi's body. "Sister Wang Yu?" Lin Luoran stares at Wang Miao-yi's belly in disbelief. Fatty Chui can't hold back his joy anymore. He smiles and says, "I had a checkup the day before yesterday. The doctor said I'm 2 months pregnant. Sister, I'm going to be a father." Ignoring Fatty Chui's complacency, Wang Miao-yi changes her tough style. She holds Lin Luoran's hand and says with tears in her eyes, "Sister, if it weren't for you, I owe you so much. I don't know how to pay you back." Lin Luoran is worried that a pregnant woman will be upset. She says hurriedly, "Sister Wang, if you really want to pay me back, why don't you ask me to be your child's godmother?" Lin Luoran lowers her voice. "That way, my parents won't worry that I can't get married. Now that I have a grandson, they can worry about me." Wang Miao-yi is amused by Lin Luoran's playful look. She pokes Lin Luoran's forehead with her finger. "What do you want me to say?" They talk and laugh and walk in the front together. Fatty Chui follows them closely because he wants to protect his wife. However, he is still thinking about what Lin Luoran just said. Alas, Lin Luoran can turn stones into jade, cure diseases, and look like a girl in a painting. What kind of man is worthy of her? Fatty Chui shakes his head and sighs. He also starts to worry about the problem that his mother has been worrying about. Lin's family places lunch under a big tree in the back garden of the villa. When they are setting up the chopsticks and serving the dishes, a couple that gives the guard a headache comes to the villa. Although the guard has been scolded by the manager as soon as he comes to work today, which means that he should leave number 18 villa alone. Even the security guards are not allowed to inspect the villa. However, the group of visitors today is so strange. A Land Rover stops in front of the gate of the villa. A girl in ancient costume is standing beside the car. She has bright eyes and white teeth. Her smile is even prettier than that of a princess on TV. The man driving the car is very young and his clothes are normal. If this is all, the guard will just think that rich people are transvestite. However, what's with the thing on the top of the car? Goldie is squatting on the top of the car in the shape of a golden eagle standing alone. Even the Land Rover can't bear its weight. The early summer sun is strong, shining on Goldie's body with golden feathers, making it look like a huge golden sculpture. If it didn't want to chirp, the guards would really think that it is a golden bird sculpture that a nouveau riche wants to take home. Riche pouts and complains in a low voice. "I told you that we could fly in with Goldie. But you said that we should drive. This is so troublesome." Chu-yi wipes the cold sweat on his forehead. Sister Li is innocent, but he is normal. Everyone in the world of cultivation knows that the superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple has a weird temper. He doesn't dare to show off on a bird in front of a senior in the level of laying foundation. While Chu Yi is explaining to Li Shi, Goldie on the Land Rover has been impatient for a long time. It spreads its wings and the hat of the guard is crooked. Then it flies into the sky and hovers over the villa, making a clear and loud eagle cry. In number 18 villa of the villa. Everyone has washed their hands and is sitting at the round table, waiting to taste Mrs. Lin's cooking. Lin Luoran is pouring wine. She hears Goldie's voice. If the eagle's cry is similar, Goldie's breath can't be wrong. Thinking of Li Shi, Lin Luoran smiles and looks up. Chapter 140. Goldie flies over the villa. At this time, it is not midsummer, so there are not many guests who come to avoid the summer. Only in the number 7 villa, there is a room with the smell of disinfectant. On the balcony, an old man covered with age spots is wearing a hospital gown and basking in the sun. Seeing Goldie's handsome body, his drooping eyelids show a look of surprise. He picks up the phone next to him and dials a number with trembling hands. "Master, I have found the strange beast you mentioned. A golden hawk with a wingspan of 7 or 8 meters. It is definitely a species that I have never seen before." The old man on the other side of the phone keeps nodding his head and saying yes. After hanging up the phone, the old man in hospital gown calls a bodyguard who is on standby downstairs and whispers a few words to him. The old man is still excited until the bodyguard goes downstairs. "Chairman, it's time to take your medicine." A female housekeeper in her 40s walked up with a crystal plate. There was a small piece of red jelly in the small cup. The old man's excitement was washed away by half. He swallowed the red jelly with a look of disgust. His Adam's apple made a hissing sound. "It will work this time. I don't have to endure such a life anymore." The old man in the ward feels better after eating the jelly. He signs several important contracts and starts to sunbathe on the balcony again. Lin Luoran's spiritual mind can only cover a few hundred meters. Every villa is far away from each other, so she knows nothing about what is happening in number 7 villa. At this moment, the whole Lin family is immersed in the madness brought by Goldie. Human beings have always dreamed of flying since ancient times. Even with Lin Luoran's personal ability, she can't fly without external help, let alone her parents and Baojia. In fact, Lin Luoran's turning stone into jade, Master Jia's favor, Mutanan's Reiki jade, the skin beauty bolus that Lin Luoran made for Wang Miao, and the villa in front of them, which is said to be the new house of the Lin family. Wang Miao, and Lin Luoran have known that this girl is not an ordinary person. But no matter what, it is not as shocking as this moment. Lin Luoran said that this magnificent golden hawk is her mount, and it can carry people in the sky. Immortals came on cranes. This was an unforgettable impression in Huaxia mythology. What was the difference between riding a hawk and riding a crane? Even if he doesn't believe it, Lin Luoran's identity is obvious. Baojia wants to enjoy herself on the spot, but Lin Luoran stops her because it is too conspicuous in the daytime. Xiao Jin tilted its head and looked at everyone. It didn't understand why these people always looked at it with their red eyes. It was so creepy. Looking at the yard, there are only 2 peach trees. Goldie is very familiar with the smell, so it walks away to eat the peaches, leaving the crowd with their eyes wide open. 10 minutes later, Li Shi and the others arrive. Wang Miao is surprised to see Li Shi in a tang suit. Her mouth, which has not closed a moment ago, is still wide open in astonishment. Li Shi and Baojia have prepared gifts for Mr. and Mrs. Lin. Even Baojia and Luodong have received gifts. Li Shi finally has the time to look at Lin Luoran with red eyes. Miss Lin has been missing for more than 2 months. Many people say that she can't be alive. Only brother Wen Lin Luoran and Chu Yi believe that she is still alive. Days go by. When Li Shi is about to lose hope, the school receives a message from the superior of the Qingqing Taoist Temple. Miss Lin has returned safely. Chu Yi came by plane, but Li Shi was carried by Goldie. If Brother Wen were not on a mission abroad, he would have come as well. Hearing Li Shi's words, Lin Luoran says to herself that she is doomed. Sure enough, Mrs. Lin, who has sharp ears, heard every word. She starts to interrogate Lin Luoran about her disappearance. Li Shi'er sticks out her tongue. She knows that she is in trouble. In order to cover up her mistake, Li Shi'er remembers that Goldie just left her and Chewie alone. She casts a spell called Bee-Tail, and the golden needles are shot at Goldie, who is eating peaches like rain. Li Shi'er has never thought that Wang Miao-yi and her husband are among the people here who are ignorant of the situation. Seeing the gold needles shooting at the eagle, which is said to be able to fly with people, and then bounced back by the eagle's wings, Li Shi'er in a tang suit dodges awkwardly. Wang Miao-yi feels that she is in a movie theater and it is showing an Oriental fantasy film. Sister Wang, I'll explain it to you when I have time. Li Shi'er wants to teach Goldie a lesson. Lin Luoran feels like her shoulders are about to break. She whispers to Wang Miao-yi and tells the others that dinner is ready. Wang Miao and Fatty Chui calm down and take a sip of the amber-colored wine in front of each of them. They feel very comfortable, knowing that they are waiting for another explanation from Lin Luoran. Lin Luoran is not being stingy. Ordinary people can only drink 1 glass of this spirit wine. Even young master and Li Shi'er and Chu-yi can't digest the spirit wine immediately. Therefore, each of them can only drink a small glass of it. Goldie, on the other hand, finally finds something it is interested in besides peaches. It pesters Lin Luoran to pour it a big bowl of the spirit wine and drinks it up. Young master and is frustrated. As a wood cultivator, no one knows better than him how many spirit herbs are needed to make this kind of spirit wine and how much energy is needed to balance the violent Reiki. Goldie is so lucky. After eating this sumptuous feast with ingredients from all over the world, young Taoist and had to go back to report on his mission. He did not dare to stay for long. Li Shi'er drags Lin Luoran's sleeves and insists on staying. Lin Luoran can't ask her to stay while Chu-yi leaves, so they both stay. Seeing that this cute girl in ancient clothes has a lot to say, Wang Miao-yi has to keep all the questions in her heart. She tells Fatty Chui that she has something to do and they have to go back first. Lin Luoran doesn't know what to say. She has to figure out what to say and what not to say, so she doesn't ask them to stay. She walks them to the car and then comes back to deal with Li Shi'er, who is rushing to wash the dishes but has already broken 2 plates. Young master and walks on the mountain path with a basket of peaches in his left hand and a wooden box in his right hand. He doesn't care about Lin Luoran's gift, but he is jealous of Goldie, who wastes the spirit wine and peaches. If Goldie's meat is not so hard to kill, young master and, who is crazy about cooking, may also want to eat this rare ingredient. Fatty Chui drives out of the villa and sees Wang Miao-yi sitting in the passenger seat in a daze. He pushes her gently. Wang Miao comes to herself and says something that makes Fatty Chui laugh. I'm not satisfied if I don't fly on Goldie once in my life. Chapter 141. Young master and returns to the Taoist temple. A younger fellow apprentice has been waiting for him at the door. The younger fellow apprentice is afraid that An will sneak into the kitchen again. The Taoist name of Qingqing Taoist temple is Huizhu. At this time, the world of cultivation is declining. There are only 5 known cultivators in the level of laying foundation, and he is one of them. Taoist Huizhu is 105 years old and he is in the later stage of laying foundation. He is the most powerful cultivator in the state of Huaxia. He has high hopes for young master and talent is one thing, but no one knows that he is such a lazy person. Master, this is senior sister Lin's gift to return the favor. Young Taoist master and held the wooden box and the fruit basket and retreated to the side quietly. Huizhu's room is very simple. Except for a stone bed for meditation, there is a valuable incense burner on the table. At this time, the incense burner was emitting green smoke, and there was a peaceful and elegant fragrance in the room. The white paper window was not closed, and outside the window was a cage of green bamboos swaying with the mountain breeze. It was indeed a pleasant mountain residence. In fact, young master knows that the incense burner is made from the plants in the mountain by himself. It is not valuable at all. This beautiful temple is an heirloom, not a property of his. Cultivators, like Li Shi'er's school, live in the mountain. When Guanjing's family is a big family in the center of Chuan province. The descendants of Master Gua are also important officials in the military and government. The Mu family has a huge amount of money. Many cultivation resources are bought from the secular world. The Lin family is a new upstart cultivator. In a short time, they have accumulated a lot of wealth that ordinary people can't get in a lifetime. Only Qingqing Taoist Huizhu, who is known as the most powerful cultivator in the state of Huaxia, lives a herbivorous life and guards the small yards of the Qingqing Taoist temple. Living in the mountains, he has been out of touch with the secular world for a long time. Do you remember what you saw and ate when you went there? Huizhu doesn't check the gifts. Instead, he asks An first. Young master and tilts his head and thinks for a while. Then he tells An what happened in the yard of Lin's family. Iron thorns were hard to find in the secular world, but Shaoan had seen them in ancient books. The seeds of the vegetables planted by Lin's family are buried in the soil. The thin layer of soil can't stop An from sensing wood reiki. The vegetable seeds are full of reiki, which means that they are not ordinary. He also mentioned a type of spiritual wine that he drank at the banquet. He didn't know what it was made from, but it was indeed an excellent drink for cultivators. Huizhu nods. They were taken from the secret land. Xi's precious female apprentice also took a lot of them out. The old man is too shrewd and refuses to share any. And suddenly understands and talks about Goldie again. Lin Luoran has been missing for more than 2 months and Goldie has also stayed in Li Shi's school for 2 months. Goldie's existence has long been known by the younger generation of Huaxia who have entered the secret land. Old Shi, did that female disciple also go today? Huizhu's spiritual mind can detect the presence of 2 young cultivators in the Lin's house, which is a few miles away. What's more, he insists that one of them is Li Shi. Even An feels strange and nods. Huizhu finally opens his eyes. He stares at An and says in a soft voice, I'm afraid you don't know that Shi's female apprentice brought back 3 Foundation Lang boluses. And scratches his head. As a young Taoist who is obsessed with pots and pans, he knows how precious Foundation Lang boluses are. However, what does bringing back Foundation Lang boluses have anything to do with Li Shi's visit? Old Taoist Huizhu looks calm and says with a smile, the 3 Foundation Lang boluses are in a stalemate. Mr. Shi kept one for his female apprentice, and the Mu family took one. The Special Department and the Wen family are also fighting for the last one. It's still up in the air. And blinks. He doesn't know what his master is trying to say. He can't understand what his master is saying. She values this female apprentice of the School of Gold very much. Before, he would never let her go down the mountain to be stained with dust. This time, as soon as he heard that the girl came back safely, the female apprentice arrived the next day. Without Shi's permission, how dare she go down the mountain? His apprentice is talented, but she knows nothing about the schemes of these people. He doesn't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. Old Taoist Huizhu sighs and sends An away. The old Taoist was the only one left in the room. He opened the wooden box and looked inside. There were 3 transparent jadeite bottles. Even in a room with mottled shadows of bamboos, they still added some color to the room. More importantly, the wine inside was of different ages. The best one was also useful for foundation establishment cultivators. Huizhu thinks for a while, gets up, grinds the ink, and writes a few lines on a piece of white paper. Looking at her Taoist root, she is no different from a cultivator without cultivation. However, she is quite experienced in cultivating spirit plants. I don't know if it's a good thing or not. She has a peaceful mind and doesn't care about external things. She is an excellent Taoist mind for cultivation. Only one of them is filial piety. Because she can't protect her parents, it may become a devil in her future cultivation. In addition, this girl has completed the level of training Qi. Laying foundation will come soon. How can a cultivator without cultivation progress so fast? It is obvious that our guess that she came from the Tao of Bolus may be true. After thinking for a while, Huizhu adds, a genius of single nature is hard to come by in 100 years. However, in a few years she has all 5 elements, and all of them are related to her. Is the turning point in the prophecy about this girl? After the ink dries, Huizhu folds the letter into the shape of a paper crane. He makes a spell with his right hand and murmurs. The paper crane flies up into the air with a flash of white light. Soon, it flies out of the window and disappears above the Qingqing Taoist temple. In the blink of an eye, it disappears in the dense forest. After sending the paper crane away, Huizhu remembers the spirit wine. He is about to send someone to the capital, but then he smiles and says, "She will send it to you. Don't worry." The sun is setting in the west and soon disappears into the mountains far away. Night finally comes in Mount Qingqing. Lin Luoran arranges a quiet room for Li Shi and the others. After a busy day, some people in the Lin family gradually fall asleep. Goldie is perched on the big tree behind the villa. Lin Luoran can see its huge body from the room. Even the luxuriant tree can't cover it completely. The old man in the hospital gown in number 7 villa is tossing and turning, but Lin Luoran is not much better. What she doesn't dare to confirm is the Taoist root of her mother. In fact, people are all like this. Ordinary people will be overjoyed when they get the opportunity to cultivate. In novels, people who never miss their parents even when they travel to another world are cold-blooded. However, as the saying goes, when a man achieves the Taoist root, all his friends and family follow him. Lin Luoran becomes more and more greedy with this idea. She hopes that all her relatives and friends can accompany her forever. Baojia's grandmother was a female cultivator. Her Taoist root is not clear how she got it. It is hard to be sure whether it was activated by the golden figure or not. Mr. Lin also has the sense of qi, which proves that he has the Taoist root. What about Luodong? Decades later, when Luodong is getting old, his relatives will become younger and younger, and he will face death alone. How cruel it will be! And Mrs. Lin? Lin Luoran sighs and finally agrees to answer the question. At this time, everyone was asleep, right? Lin Luoran has something on her mind and she can't meditate tonight. She looks out of the window. The night air in the mountains is very fresh. She can hear her parents breathing. Luodong's bedroom is next to Lin Luoran's. Luodong kicks off the quilt when he is sleeping. Lin Luoran tries to calm herself down and sends Reiki of the 5 natures to Luodong. Blue, repulsive. Green, repulsive. Red, repulsive. Gold, repulsive. Lin Luoran is disappointed. However, the brown earth Reiki rushes to Luodong crazily. Lin Luoran's heart is pounding. Is Luodong a genius of a single nature? How is it possible? He is just a kid that Baojia and Lin Luoran saved by chance. How can he have a single Taoist root of the earth? What is wrong? Lin Luoran doesn't know what Huizhu is talking about. She hasn't checked the Taoist root of Li Shi and others. Otherwise, she will think it is not a coincidence, but a conspiracy. Lin Luoran takes the test again and the result is the same. The sudden ecstasy washes away her worries. She floats to her parents' bedroom with the colorful lights. Mr. Lin has a sense of qi and is more sensitive to Reiki than ordinary people. He notices the peaceful and pure Reiki. As he breathes, the brown, gold, and green Reiki are resonating with him. The Taoist root of 3 natures? It is not good, but it is not the worst either. Lin Luoran goes to check on her mother. Her mother made a lot of delicious dishes today. She is happier than when her children eat well. She is also smiling in her sleep. However, Lin Luoran's heart is cold. The colorful lights are flying around her mother like colorful fairies. However, the total amount of the lights is not reduced. Mrs. Lin didn't absorb any of them, so she doesn't have a Taoist root. Lin Luoran feels bitter at the bottom of her tongue. The fact makes her happy that Luodong is a genius of a single nature disappear completely. Lin Luoran has a ridiculous feeling of imbalance. It turns out that there is a difference between family and alienation. Lin Luoran is kind to Luodong out of sympathy. However, Mrs. Lin is Luodong's mother. Why can Luodong have a Taoist root while her own mother can't? The moon waxes and wanes, and people have joys and sorrows. Lin Luoran understands all these, but she only understands it when she is talking to others, not herself. Lin Luoran doesn't know that she can't accept the result that it is impossible to have a Taoist root. Lin Luoran's mind is fluctuating so much that all the items on the table near her are shaking. Bang! A small wooden box falls to the ground and breaks into two pieces. Lin Luoran's attention is attracted by the box. The items on the table finally return to normal. In the broken wooden box, there is a yellowed book. Lin Luoran can see some big black words clearly under the moonlight. Chronicle of the 9 Provinces? Lin Luoran looks at the small wooden box. This is the gift from the superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple. Chapter 142. Lin Luoran still can't accept the fact that her mother has no Taoist root. She is not in the mood to read Chronicle of the 9 Provinces. Lin Luoran is not in the mood to cultivate. She has something on her mind, so she enters the space. The space seems to be bigger. Lin Luoran suspects that the size of the space is related to her level of cultivation. In addition to this, she also has a vague guess. The emerald tree is of the nature of fire, and the ice grass is of the nature of water. Are their properties related to the Taoist root she has awakened in her body and the size of the space? Lin Luoran has no way to prove it. She secretly decides that she should pay attention to the other 3 kinds of spirit herbs and spirit woods in the future. Maybe only those at the same level as the emerald tree and the ice grass can cause the space to change again. As for the small wooden house that was enveloped by the restriction, when could it be opened? Will the golden runes she saw in her dream be inside? Can the mysterious power solve the problem of her mother's Taoist root? Lin Luoran shakes her head to get rid of these distracting thoughts. She starts to sort out the messy space. 8 jars of monkey wine are neatly piled up under the peach tree. Luminous sand that she risked her life to get in the bat cave. There is a small jar of white 1,000-year-old sand and a small jar of light yellow and bright yellow crystals of unknown age. 2 monkey mushrooms are the primer of foundation-laying bolus given by the old monkey. Of course, one of them belongs to Li Shi. A lot of weeds found in the nest of the black bear. In an environment without any light, this type of spiritual herb was known as the 7-star grass. Not only was it another main ingredient of the Foundation Establishment Dan, but it could also be used in many pill recipes. If she didn't find so many in the nest of the black bear, Lin Luoran would not make up her mind to look for the 1,000-year-old luminous sand. It is a pity that the 7 stars grass can't be any drier. Otherwise, she can plant it in the space and it will be inexhaustible. In addition, there are some famous and unknown spirit herbs and a bag of seeds of spirit herbs. Lin Luoran feels that she will have enough seeds to feed her family in the next 100 years. Butterfly bush flower is the only one she hasn't found in the formula of foundation-laying bolus. However, Lin Luoran is not worried. She has agreed that cultivators from the state of Huaxia can exchange what they find in the secret land. She doesn't find butterfly bush flower, but it doesn't mean others don't. These are all real things. In fact, the most valuable thing is that she met White Fairy. Lin Luoran gets a copy of Introduction of Sword. Even when Guanjing doesn't have time to read the last part. Luoran gets a copy of Sword Riding Spell and saves her a lot of money on the Sword of Sword. There is also a Water Spell of Sword, which is probably White Fairy's private collection. Lin Luoran only used Frost Descent to kill the wretched Nihinese cultivator. For Lin Luoran, the most useful thing is the memory bead of White Fairy before she fell asleep. It is a small encyclopedia before the level of bearing essence. Even though she hasn't laid foundation yet, she can still understand a lot of content in it. There is also a very powerful golden hawk. White Fairy says it is called Golden Hawk. It seems to have infinite potential, but Lin Luoran needs time to cultivate it. Ice spirit grass is harvested in the North Pole. It is a gift from the trip to the secret land. In addition to the above, Lin Luoran also gets a messy space, just like what she sees in front of her. The vines of the Polygonum multiflorum entangled the territory of the ginseng. Below the chili, there was actually a kind of spirit herb called jade grass. Well, there were also a few flower mushrooms among the chives. A few of them were in a cluster. They were bright and dazzling. They were very rare spirit mushrooms. All in all, the planning of the space was extremely urgent. The land area of the space has been doubled, which is convenient for Lin Luoran's planting plan. Fruits like peaches must be planted. Lin Luoran wants to make spirit wine by herself in the future. She can't grow grains in the space to make wine. Fruits are more reliable. Now there are several peach trees in the space. Lin Luoran plans to keep only 2 and transplant the rest. She can plant them behind the villa or in the house in the city. Anyway, there is an open space. Fortunately, Lin Luoran has planned to plant peach trees. With the spring as the center, all the peach trees are planted in the outermost part of the land, which is the closest to the cabin. Lin Luoran doesn't need to move them now. No matter whether the space becomes bigger or not, the outermost area will always be the same. Lin Luoran can use this circle to plant fruit trees. Lin Luoran doesn't plant vegetables next. In addition to the fruit trees, Lin Luoran leaves a few meters away from the space. She plans to plant tea trees like the parent tree of Dahongpo in Wui Mountain in the future. Then there are all kinds of vegetables. Because they mature so fast, Lin Luoran only needs to plant a few plants of each kind. It is not only enough for the daily needs of a family, but also enough for friends and relatives. However, there are only some common vegetables in the space. There are no mushroom vegetables like enoki mushroom. Lin Luoran thinks that since mushroom can be grown in the space, it is impossible for ordinary mushrooms to survive. It seems that she can start to add dishes. Well, there are bamboo shoots. Should she plant some kinds of bamboo and eat bamboo shoots? At this time, the land in the space is more than half an acre, less than 1 acre. The bamboo root system is developed, so it takes up a lot of space. Maybe I should wait. Lin Luoran puts this thought aside and starts to move the herbs. The herbs mentioned here are Chinese herbal medicines in the secular world, such as ox vine and poria. Although they have been optimized by the space, no one knows how long it will take for them to evolve into real spirit medicine. Lin Luoran has grown attached to them after planting them for a long time. No matter how small a mosquito is, it is still meat. Therefore, Lin Luoran simply plants them between the vegetables and spirit herbs to create a buffer zone between vegetables and spirit herbs. The rest of the space is the medicine garden planned by Lin Luoran, which is specially used to plant spirit herbs and spirit medicines. Among them, the ginseng that Lin Luoran planted first is the best. 1 day equals 1 year. It has been almost 8 months since Lin Luoran planted them in the autumn of last year, and now it is early summer. These little guys have reached a very discordant age. They will be 250 years old in a few days. The ginseng seeds of 250 years old are ripe once in 100 years. Lin Luoran has harvested ginseng seeds twice. She tries to plant some ginseng seeds to see the difference between the first generation and the second generation. The fleece flowers are younger. They are all descendants of the fleece flowers that Lin Luoran picked up from the vegetable market. There are over 100 of them, and most of the reserved medicine garden is occupied by them. Their mother has long been made into Skin Beauty Bolus, which has rejuvenated Mrs. Lin, Mr. Lin, and Wang Miao. These 100 fleece flowers are all over 100 years old. Lin Luoran is worried about what to exchange with the special department. She decides to keep some of them as seeds and exchange all the others. 1 day equals 1 year in the space. Lin Luoran is reluctant to pull them out, so she transplants them densely together and pulls them out when it's time to exchange. Now the space is cleared. Lin Luoran replants ginseng, spirit herbs, and spirit mushrooms in an orderly manner. The space is used to the extreme. Lin Luoran also sprinkles some commonly used spirit herb seeds. Even though Lin Luoran has an extraordinary physique, such meticulous and continuous work still makes her feel tired. However, looking at the clean space, the spirit herbs are well arranged, and the fragrance of fruits and vegetables permeates the air. Lin Luoran feels that her tiredness is worth it. Under the peach tree is the original grass in the space. Lin Luoran has been planning to weave some futons for a long time. However, she has never done it before. Now is the right time, so she takes a bunch of futons out. The room is still so quiet. The shadows of the trees are modeled in front of the floor-to-ceiling window, and the croaking of frogs is endless. The moonlight shines on the desk, and the Chronicle of the 9 Provinces is still on the ground. Weaving a futon is a piece of cake for Lin Luoran, who has flexible fingers now. She can do it by feeling. Her hands are occupied, so her eyes are free. Lin Luoran picks up the book and spreads it on the desk. The cover of the book is yellowed, but the pages are not damaged because of the perfect preservation. Lin Luoran carefully opens the book with her fingers. There is only a small line of words on the cover. I am 480 years old, but I haven't reached the late stage of bearing essence. It is impossible for me to reach the level of gathering vitality. I don't want to waste the rest of my life, so I travel the 9 provinces for 20 years. I leave a book with some strange stories for future generations to laugh at. It is signed in the 3rd year of Mingjingde, and the author is Nanling Hermit. Is this a travel book written by a senior in the level of bearing essence? Why didn't he use the jade map? Instead, he chose a paper book. Lin Luoran is interested in it. While weaving a futon, she opens the Chronicle of the 9 Provinces, which is thicker than a brick. The more she reads, the more she feels it is interesting. For example, in the 14th sentence, Nanling Hermit is curious about the blue pearl mermaid's tears, which is loved by female cultivators. There hasn't been a new one for hundreds of years, so he wants to find the mermaid who can turn tears into pearls. He searched the entire East Ocean, but he only found a skeleton that looked like a human and a fish on a lone island. Until the end, Southern Mountain Hermit did not know if mermaids really existed in this world or if it was just a rumor in the cultivation world. In the 53rd sentence, Nanling Hermit once watched the tide from the top of Yang Tower. Suddenly, the weather changed and a golden carp jumped out of the water. The waves gradually turned into the shape of a gate. Nanling Hermit thinks that he saw the legendary carp jumping over the dragon gate. When he is fascinated by it, dark clouds suddenly fall from the sky and the water of Dongting Lake tumbles. The golden carp is struck by lightning and falls into the waves, never to jump again. The gate gradually disappears. Nanling Hermit feels it is a pity. He wants to find the golden carp again, but it has already disappeared. There is a line of vermilion comments at the end of the text. Is there a dragon palace under the lake? Lin Luoran doesn't know who wrote this comment, but she also yearns for it. Does the ancient totem of the Huaxia people really exist? Nanling Hermit's writing style is also good. His travel notes are memorable. Lin Luoran is busy weaving a rush cushion, so she can't finish the book tonight. She turns to the last chapter, Penglai Beyond the Sea. Penglai? It is said that it is a fairy mountain overseas. Nanling Hermit also writes it, which means it is not a common legend. Lin Luoran reads carefully and gradually forgets what she is doing. She holds her breath and her chest is heaving up and down. I met a cultivator overseas and we had a good talk. One day, he told me that there is a fairy mountain overseas named Penglai. There is a real immortal who can communicate with the gods and can help mortals build the Taoist root and become immortals. Build the Taoist root. If this is true, then Mrs. Lin. Chapter 143. Lin Luoran is pleasantly surprised to find a passage that can shape the Taoist root for mortals. She holds her breath and continues reading. However, her heart falls down at once. The sentence, Penglai is overseas, is supposed to be the end of the book. Lin Luoran is reading the second last page of the book. The rest of the book is so broken that she can't even see the characters. Lin Luoran doesn't know what is written after the road to becoming immortals. Putting down the book, Lin Luoran keeps telling herself to calm down. The whole book is intact. Why is the last page blurred? Is it man-made or natural? If it's the former, what is the purpose? Commander Qin once said that because of the Taoist root, cultivators in the world of cultivation will not marry mortals. The crazy Taoist doesn't like the Qin family because of the Taoist root. If the Taoist root can really be shaped by a real immortal, why is there no news about it? Has any cultivator ever done this for their blood-related offspring? Is it because their personal ability is too low, or is it just a legend? Even if ordinary cultivators don't care about family, there must be 2 exceptions. They must have tried hard for it. Did they succeed? Did they know about the spirit mountain Penglai, mentioned in Lingnan Lay Buddhist book? Lin Luoran's personal ability is poor. Even if there is a real immortal, Lin Luoran can't find the entrance to Penglai alone in the vast sea. Lin Luoran sighs and closes the book. The rush cushion in her hand has already been woven. She sits on the rush cushion and meditates while sorting out her thoughts. The unique fragrance of grass calms her down. Even the knowledgeable White Fairy says that she has never seen a divinization cultivator in her 600 years of cultivation. What kind of state can a cultivator be called a real immortal? Lingnan lay Buddhist also wrote that it was a drunken talk of an overseas cultivator. Therefore, the credibility of the last sentence, Peng Lai is overseas, is too low. Anyway, it gives Lin Luoran a glimmer of hope. If it is for Mrs. Lin, she can find Peng Lai. How difficult is that? Even if this doesn't work, she still has the bead. As long as she can extend her mother's life, she will have more time to solve this problem. Lin Luoran's depressed mood is lifted up again. Tonight, in just a few hours, her mood was raised to the highest because of Luodong's Taoist root and then to the lowest because of Mrs. Lin's lack of Taoist root. Now, she finally finds an opportunity to calm down. Lin Luoran relaxes and suddenly realizes that she is soaked in sweat, as if she just got out of the water. By the time Lin Luoran comes out of the shower, the sky is already bright. The dark night is over. In the Lin family's villa, sounds gradually came, indicating the arrival of a new day. At 7 o'clock in the morning, everyone except Luodong gets up. Seeing that Mrs. Lin is preparing breakfast for everyone, Lin Luoran cheers herself up. She must work harder on cultivation. Whether it is to unlock the potential of the bead or to find the spirit mountain overseas, cultivation is indispensable. Seeing that she can't do anything in the kitchen, Lin Luoran goes to the yard and casts the growing spell on the iron thorns. After watering them with wood reiki, thin vines finally grow out of the iron thorns and try to wrap around the iron railings. Lin Luoran is satisfied. In 3 or 4 days, the vines will basically grow and be effective. Junior brother Chu, do you know when and where the deal will be held? Li Shi'er and Baojia are showing off to Mrs. Lin. Only Chu Yi is watering the flowers in the yard. Thinking of the dense fleece flowers in the space, Lin Luoran can't help asking. Chu Yi hurriedly puts down the sprinkler and says, "Sister, it has been more than a month. Don't you know?" He suddenly remembers that Lin Luoran has been missing. Feeling a little embarrassed, he takes the initiative to explain to Lin Luoran. At first, Lin Luoran thought that there must be a trade fair. Hearing that it has been going on for more than a month, Lin Luoran thought that she had missed it and was very disappointed. However, Chu Yi tells her that it is not what she thought. Where should the trade fair of the world of cultivation be held in the 21st century? A valley with birds chirping and flowers fragrant? That's too old-fashioned. A secret auction? Can't you be more old-fashioned? In the 21st century, everyone had convenience, and everyone couldn't live without it. Other than the internet, there was nothing else. Chu Yi tells Lin Luoran that today's world of cultivation has its own BBS. Users are required to register with their real names. After verifying their identities, they can trade what they need in the BBS. Isn't it fashionable? My dear, they will definitely provide free shipping. Hearing Chu Yi's words, Lin Luoran shivers. Free shipping? Damn Taobao dear. She used to be cheap and often bought online. Now she has been poisoned by all kinds of intimate relationships. She doesn't expect that she still can't escape from this after becoming a cultivator. Living in a villa in the mountains, a computer is also indispensable. Chu Yi really encourages Lin Luoran to register. The name of the BBS is Tribe for Cultivators. Ordinary people can't find this well-hidden small BBS. Even if they find it, they will think that it is a group of readers who like Xianxia. Because the names of those posts are too funny. For example, Chu Yi's registered name is Never Angry Chu Yi, and it is verified. Look at his post. Can I meditate while lying down? Real experience of Bermuda's secret land. This article is serialized. Please don't jump into the trap. Li Shi'er passes by the study and sticks her head in. Seeing that Lin Luoran is on the BBS of Tribe for Cultivators, she loses interest. Lin Luoran asks for the reason. Li Shi'er tells her that she has been cultivating in the mountains since she was a child. Her master is strict with her. Her master wants her apprentices to keep up with the times, so each of them has a computer. However, the internet is blocked, so they can only access this BBS. Li Shi is so bored that she is not interested in this BBS anymore. When Li Shi shows Lin Luoran her sock puppet and asks to add her as a friend, Lin Luoran tries not to roll her eyes. Sister Li Shi, who wants to keep her mistress? She was simply acting cute. No wonder everyone doted on her so much. Seeing Lin Luoran again, Chu Yi feels that Sister Lin is more and more approachable. When Lin Luoran registers, Li Shi tells her to call her approachable Sister Lin. Chu Yi nods hard. Lin Luoran has no choice but to type the name into the BBS and kick them out of the study. Lin Luoran submits her registration information and posts a post on the trading board, seeking butterfly bushflower. After a while, someone asks cautiously, "Are you Sister Lin Luoran?" Lin Luoran replies that it is. The BBS is full of many apprentices who have just stepped into the congenital realm and rookies at the early stage of training chi. "Brother, come and see Sister Lin." "Sister, what is butterfly bush flower?" "Sister, I want to keep you as my mistress." "I can warm your bed." Lin Luoran is dazzled by their comments, but she is not angry at all. This is how the internet works. Because of the distance, people will reveal their true selves. Lin Luoran would rather see them like this than to see a group of people being respectful to her. Seeing that they are all chatting, Lin Luoran feels that she might have come at the wrong time. Seeing that no one has butterfly bush flower, Lin Luoran posts another post. Pure 100-year-old fleece flower. Lin Luoran goes offline after browsing this very small BBS. After lunch, Lin Luoran is ready to go to the city. Li Xia wants to go with her, but Chu Yi stops her. He is worried that Lin Luoran has something private to do. In fact, Baojia can't stay far away from the city. It is too much for her to take care of her parents in the mountain for 3 months. Lin Luoran takes her to go shopping in the city, which is exactly what Baojia wants. Baojia changes her clothes and gets in the car with Lin Luoran. When Lin Luoran drives the BMW she bought last year and passes by number 7 villa, the old man in hospital gown is losing his temper. "You can't find out the owner of number 18. What's the use of keeping you good for nothings?" The bodyguard is in fear. Recently, the chairman is getting more and more hot-tempered. Many colleagues have lost their jobs because of carelessness. However, there is nothing he can do. He can't find out the identity of the owner of number 18 villa who suddenly moved in 3 months ago. Even those invisible rich people who can buy such a villa should have some clues. From time to time, the golden hawk circled over the number 18 villa twice. The old man in hospital gown was envious of it these 2 days. As a businessman, he liked to make plans before taking action. At first glance, he knew that such a bird of prey had a great background. The old man in hospital gown would not act rashly without finding out the owner of the number 18 villa. "Go on. Don't come back if you can't find anything." The middle-aged housekeeper brings the medicine again. The old man in hospital gown smashes a fruit plate and drives the bodyguard out. As soon as he finishes the red fruit jelly, the door is pushed open by a white hand. A woman in her 20s comes in. She takes off her sunglasses and says sweetly, "Grandpa." Seeing that it is his beloved granddaughter, the old man in hospital gown is less angry. "Lil, you haven't come to see me for a few days." Lil helps the old man in hospital gown to sit down. Her makeup is delicate and she looks ruddy. "Grandpa, you know that I have to take care of the whole company. I'm so busy that I don't even have time to sleep." She takes out some documents and asks the old man to sign. The old man in hospital gown turns them over and frowns. "Acquisition?" Lil nods. "The store we want to buy is a century-old store. Even if we don't want it, we can buy it and split it." The old man in hospital gown thinks for a while and still doesn't sign it. He only says to wait. Seeing that her proposal is rejected, Lil is a little unhappy. She bears it and changes the topic. "Grandpa, why don't I help you find out the owner of number 18 villa? Then you will agree with my proposal." The old man in hospital gown moves his lips. "You heard it." Lil is happy. The old man's question clearly means that he agrees. Since she suffered a big setback in Rueli last year, the directors of the company have been increasingly dissatisfied with her. If it weren't for her grandfather who was seriously ill suddenly recovering, the consequences would be really hard to imagine. Chapter 144. Lin Luoran goes to the city this time to order a batch of jade boxes. She already has the idea of selling the 100-year-old fleece root in a package. It is said that the Buddha relies on gold and people rely on clothes. As for the panacea, it naturally needs to be matched with a jade box. It can not only protect the Reiki of the panacea but also raise its value. Why not? As for the cost of buying the jade box, well, the wool comes from the sheep after all. Lin Luoran is not so extravagant that she has to give the fleece flower to the sheep. Therefore, the buyer has to pay for the jade box. Lin Luoran doesn't lack money at the moment. Real estate is one thing. If she really runs out of money, she will sell the Skin Beauty Bolus for her mother and the others. It is said that a bottle of Skin Beauty Bolus contains 24K gold molecules. It is said that a bottle of Skin Beauty Bolus costs more than 10,000 yuan. In fact, it is not even worth carrying shoes for the Skin Beauty Bolus. There are so many women in the world who love to be beautiful and rich. Lin Luoran can decide the price of a bottle of Skin Beauty Bolus. Lin Luoran also plans to find a primary school for Luodong. Luodong's autism is much better now. It is not a long-term solution for him to stay away from his peers for a long time. Even though he has the Taoist root and will become a cultivator in the future, he can't be totally ignorant of the ways of the world. The world of cultivation seems to be peaceful, but who knows what will happen in the future. Even Lin Luoran can expose the fleece flower because she has an imaginary master behind her back. In addition, she reveals some good stuff from time to time, which makes the existence of this master more and more obvious. The safety of herself and her family is actually like treading on thin ice. As soon as Baojia arrives in the city, she wants to go shopping. However, thinking of Commander Qin, who is alone in the military compound, she gives up the temptation of shopping and wants to go home to see her grandpa. Lin Luoran can't stop her from being a filial daughter. She even offers a big bag of fresh vegetables to Baojia. Because Baojia has the Taoist root, young master, and doesn't hide anything from her while living in Mount Qingqing. Baojia gradually gets to know a lot of common sense in the world of cultivation. For example, Lin Luoran can make a big bag of vegetables out of nowhere. Lin, I've always been confused. Where did you get those things from? Aren't you hiding it too deeply? Lin Luoran is speechless. In the beginning, she was going to share the secret of the bead with Baojia. However, as she gradually knows the power of the bead, she gives up the idea. It wasn't that she was stingy, but the saying that treasuring a jade ring would cause one to get into trouble had been written so many times that there would always be a reason for it. At this time, Baojia has no ability to protect herself in front of cultivators. If someone wants to use her as a breakthrough to deal with her, the more Baojia knows, the more harm she will get. Lin rolls her eyes and takes out the universal sack that Wen Guanjing gave her. Here, this is the legendary storage bag. Thinking that this palm-sized gold bag is a storage bag with an independent space, Baojia is envious. She looks at Lin Luoran pitifully. Lin Luoran can't stand Baojia pretending to be a lowly. Lin Luoran says helplessly, "This one is not mine. It is temporarily given to me when I go out on a mission. I guess I have to turn it in. I'll find you another one if I have the chance." Lin Luoran sighs. Even if someone is willing to exchange for a universal sack, how many fleece flowers will she have to spend? Lin Luoran is shocked when she does the calculation. If she takes a family on the road of cultivation, the necessities such as elixirs, magic weapons, and universal sacks will be a big expense. Lin Luoran can't help but sigh. Even the landlord has no surplus food. The superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple has been looking after the Lin family for 3 months. If others want her to give them spirit wine and herbs for free, when the Lin family has more than enough, she can sell them to them according to her mood. Unless the superior is her best friend, there is no way to get them for free. Today is not a formal day, so Lin Luoran puts Baojia down at the gate of the courtyard. She plans to visit Commander Qin another day. Unexpectedly, as soon as Lin Luoran steps on the brake, she sees Lu Zheng coming out of the courtyard. Seeing the two of them getting off the car, Lu Zheng is surprised for a moment, but he soon calms down. Lu Zheng, Baojia's fiancé, used to fill the gap when Lin Luoran just broke up with Li Anping. It seems that since the night Lin Luoran went to Zhou Yaowei to get even with him, he drove to pick her up and then never appeared in front of her again. She hasn't seen him for almost 4 months. He seems to have lost a lot of weight, but he still looks energetic. From such a distance, Lin Luoran can see that there are faint dark circles under his glasses. Lu Jing doesn't avoid Lin Luoran's gaze at all. After greeting Baojia, he walks forward and says to Lin Luoran, "Long time no see. How are you?" Lin Luoran can't help but nod. She feels that behind his calm eyes, there are too many feelings that she can't bear to look at. She is so embarrassed that she doesn't know what to say. Fortunately, Lu Zheng is always so considerate. After saying hello, he says that he has something to do and has to leave. Lin Luoran is relieved and politely says goodbye to him. Baojia looks at the man and woman who are a perfect match in appearance and personality, but are separated by many invisible factors and gaps. Her eyes are complicated and she sighs quietly. Lin Luoran drives away, but she doesn't notice that Lu Zheng, who said he was going to leave, is actually parked at the corner and has been watching her. He doesn't expect to see Lin Luoran again in such a sudden situation. No one knows how he feels at that moment. Lu Zheng's fingers tighten on the steering wheel. No one knows how many connections he has made in the past 4 months. However, as Commander Qin said, there is a difference between an immortal and a mortal. Lu's family is a powerful family, so what? The door of cultivation will not open to him just because he is the young master of the Lus. No one says that he can't have the Taoist route. However, how can he open the door to Lin Luoran's world from the mortal world? Lu Zheng's mood is sour and complicated. The traffic lights at the crossroads are flashing like stars in the sky. They are like her eyes, so close and so far. Even though Lin Luoran knows what is on Lu Zheng's mind, she can't give him any response or promise. It's better for everyone to pretend that they don't know. Lin Luoran drives directly to Fatty Chui's shop. Wang Miao is more than 2 months pregnant and hasn't passed the critical period of the first 3 months. Whether Wang Miao is in the shop or not, Lin Luoran won't bother her. Lin Luoran calls Fatty Chui in advance. When Fatty Chui runs out, he is still panting, which makes the shop assistants guess Lin Luoran's identity. Women are the most talkative and gossipy ones. However, they only say that Lin Luoran is Fatty Chui's mistress. Everyone is wondering why their boss is so tough now. Isn't he afraid that the tigress at home will get mad? But then again, their boss's wife has changed a lot recently. Did she go to South Korea for plastic surgery? This kind of topic is women's favorite. The shop assistants inevitably raise their voices, and even Fatty Chui hears them. Lin Luoran just smiles, but Fatty Chui is sweating. Since he came back from Mount Qingqing the day before yesterday, he has regarded Lin Luoran as a master who has entered the secular world. He feels that calling Lin Luoran's sister is like currying favor with her. Hearing the gossip of the shop assistants, Fatty Chui feels uneasy. To his surprise, Lin Luoran neither comforts him nor shows her displeasure. No matter how she treated him before, she still calls him Brother Chui warmly. Fatty Chui is relieved and he feels more at ease. In fact, Wang Miao, he said last night that Lin Luoran doesn't look like a person who will exchange friends for money. At this moment, Fatty Chui totally believes in his wife's judgment. "Sister Lin, what kind of jade do you want?" Fatty Chui takes Lin Luoran directly into his office. There are many samples of broken jade on the shelf. Under the light they are warm and moist. Some are good and some are bad. Lin Luoran doesn't know what kind of jade box can achieve the effect of Reiki locking. She simply checks these jade pieces by herself. She finds that with the Reiki of the fleece flower, as long as the craftsmanship is good, a piece of mid-grade jade is enough. The value of jade lies in its flawless beauty. Looking at the samples Lin Luoran picks out, Fatty Chui says with a smile, "This is cheap. I just don't know what you want to do with it." If spirit herbs are directly used as medicine instead of taking their fruits, most spirit herbs are not tall. Lin Luoran makes a picture of a long box with a length of 6 inches and a width of 3 inches and orders 100 pieces. Considering that it may be useful for herself in the future, she picks some jade of better quality and orders 50 more. Fatty Chui is in a dilemma. Even if the quality of the jade is not good, it is impossible for his family to put together such a big box. It is possible for him to sell it to all the jade market in the southwest. In fact, among the people Lin Luoran knows, Mrs. Lu is the easiest to make. However, Lin Luoran doesn't want to owe Lu Zheng anymore. She can only beg Fatty Chui again and again for help. Fatty Chui feels happy that he can help Lin Luoran. Only he can understand the contradictory feeling of being in a dilemma and happy at the same time. When Fatty Chui walks Lin Luoran out and the chubby figure is gone, Lin Luoran remembers that she didn't even calculate the price. No matter how cheap the jade is, the quantity and the craftsmanship of the jade box can't be cheap. Since she made her fortune by gambling on stones, she has sold more than 20 million yuan of jade. Most of it was used to buy Master Jia's old house. The rest of it was used to spend everywhere. Including the raw stones she picked up in Rueli and the car, Lin Luoran finds that she doesn't even have 1 million yuan in cash. Obviously, it is not enough to pay for the jade box. Fortunately, she doesn't have to deliver the jade right away, so she still has time to collect money. What if she goes to the BBS to change the price and sells some spirit herbs in Huaxia currency? Lin Luoran recalls the address she found on the internet and goes straight to the elementary school where Luodong is going to study. When Lin Luoran is talking with the director of the school, she will never know that at this moment, in front of the villa in Qingqing, an old acquaintance is wandering around the Bluestone Pier, thinking about how to find out the history of the Lin family. Ellie is wearing a sports jacket with a towel around her neck and jogging shoes. She looks like a standard sports attire. If it weren't for the power of the early summer sun, Ellie would look like a guest of a villa in the villa who accidentally jogged into the area of the Lin family's villa. Through the iron fence, a good-looking young man is arguing with a girl in an ancient costume with a flushed face. Rich people nowadays have a lot of eccentricities. Wearing ancient costumes is nothing. Allie conceals the strange feeling in her heart and raises her voice slightly. Chapter 145. Chu Yi and Li Shi are still arguing about the same thing. Li Shi wants to take Goldie to the mountain for a walk. Well, she doesn't want to take Goldie. She wants Goldie to take her there. In Chu Yi's opinion, Goldie is a hawk, so it is reasonable for it to fly in the sky. Li Shi wants to ride on Goldie's back on Mount Qingqing. From the point of view of the eccentric superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple, Li Shi is showing off her power. Out of love for his junior sister, Chu Yi would never compromise on this point. As for Ailey, who had ulterior motives, she was circling around the pier. With their eyesight, they had naturally seen her long ago, but they did not pay attention to her. At this time, Ellie takes the initiative to ask if anyone is here. Chu even feels grateful to her for finally giving junior sister Li some peace. Ellie has always been confident about her appearance when Lin Luoran is not around. However, when the transvestite girl in ancient costume turns around, Ellie has to admit that the girl is also beautiful. She is so jealous that she doesn't even answer Chu Yi's question right away. It is not until the young man in front of her asks her again that Ellie comes to herself and says, "What's the matter?" Here's the thing. I accidentally sprained my ankle. Can you lend me your phone so I can call my family to pick me up? Lend me your phone? Chu Yi is alert. Even if Ellie doesn't like to exercise in the morning, who would choose to run at this time before the sun sets? Her face is not red, she is not out of breath, and her makeup is still on. How could she sprain her ankle? There is something wrong with this woman. However, she doesn't have any Reiki. How dare she come to this place? Ignorance is bliss. Chu Yi calmly hands the phone to her, but he keeps it in his mind. It's fine if he can handle it himself. There is no need to bother Miss Lin. Seeing that the young man treats her very well, Ellie regains some confidence. She is just a little arrogant, but she is still far from being a real idiot. Knowing that she can't show too much at this time, she really dials the housekeeper's phone and asks someone to pick her up. When the housekeeper comes to pick up Ellie, Li can't help asking, "Brother, the woman is fine. Why did she say she sprained her ankle?" Chu-yi explains with a smile, and Li is enlightened. "She approached us on purpose? Senior brother, could it be that she has taken a fancy to you? She's acting to deceive people. Senior brother, please don't choose her." Chu-yi is so angry that he almost falls down. He glances at her and decides to go back to the backyard to play with Luodong. Looking at Chu-yi, who is running fast, Li smiles. She pinches her face and murmurs, "She's not even as good as me. How dare she try to hit on Sister Lin? Forget it. I'll deal with it for Sister Lin." Among the 18 villas in the villa, Lin's house is the one with the highest terrain. Li runs upstairs and sees Ellie's car clearly. There was a smile on her face. No one knew what kind of wicked idea she was thinking of, but she endured and pretended that nothing had happened. She ran over to tease Xiaojin. Back to number 7 villa, Ellie is looking at the phone number left by Chu-yi. She thinks that her plan has worked, but she is no match for Chu-yi and Luodong, who have become clear-minded and perceptive because of cultivation. Thanks to Kong Fong, Luodong, a young boy from Lin's hometown, is able to get into a public elementary school in a district of Rong City after paying a large sum of money for Luodong. Lin Luoran has just talked with the director of the school. The director says that she can bring Luodong to take a test at any time. According to Luodong's age and progress, Luodong will be enrolled in the new semester. Maybe because of brother Kong Fong or because of Lin Luoran's beauty, the director walks her to the school gate in person and promises that he will take good care of her brother. It is the middle of May, and the new semester begins in September. That is to say, Lin Luoran still has 3 months to go. In fact, she already has an idea to cure Luodong. After settling down at home, she can start to treat Luodong. The only thing that Lin Luoran is worried about is the Zhou family. After so long, they haven't done anything. Is it because they are afraid of the superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple? The latter possibility is very low. No one knows better than Lin Luoran how serious Zhou Yaowei's injury is. Lin Luoran's whip not only broke Zhou Yaowei's bones, but also shattered Zhou Yaowei's meridians with Reiki. Unless Zhou Yaowei can find a master in the level of bearing essence to help him reconnect his broken meridians, it will be very difficult for him to heal his broken meridians. Unless Zhou Yaowei can find a master in the level of bearing essence to help him reconnect his broken meridians, he can't even stand up, let alone cultivate. When the matter with the Zhou family is over, Lin Luoran should ask her parents to come back to the city. Mount Qingqing is a good place for cultivation, but the mountain villa is too remote. For people who can't get rid of the mortal world, it is hard for them to find a few friends to talk to. The mountain villa is suitable for them to stay for a short time. As for Goldie, it will be too conspicuous in the city. Only the villa in Mount Qingqing, which is hidden in the green mountains and clear waters, can hide its existence. Living in the city or in the mountain, Lin Luoran can't satisfy both sides. Lin Luoran is a bit distressed. It is just after 5 o'clock when she finishes the business. Lin Luoran doesn't know if Baojia will come back, so she drives back to her old house behind the folk street. Mrs. Lin has been living in the mountain for several months. The house is covered with a thick layer of dust. Even the koi in the fish tank are so thin that they eat moss to survive. Lin Luoran throws some vegetable leaves into the fish tank. The fish scramble for food as if they have just been released from prison. Lin Luoran prunes the plants and casts a cleaning spell to clean both inside and outside the house. The dust collected by the cleaning spell is as big as a watermelon. Lin Luoran puts the dust into a plastic bag. Unlike the villa in Mount Qingqing, which is a gift, Lin Luoran actually earned this house herself. In addition, she bought Master Jia's old house. Although Lin Luoran hasn't lived in it for a few days, it still means something to her. Lin Luoran goes upstairs with the help of the stairs. This is the place where she first started her cultivation. At that time, she knew nothing about cultivation. She couldn't even direct the Reiki in her body, let alone spells. Lin Luoran also has a computer in her room. She has ordered the jade box, but she doesn't know if anyone has left her a message to exchange for the fleece flower. It is still early. Lin Luoran turns on the computer and enters Tribe for Cultivators again. In the trading section, to Lin Luoran's surprise, both of her posts are pinned in red and there are many replies. However, Lin Luoran doesn't check the replies immediately. Instead, her mouse falls on another pinned post. This is a new post that was published an hour ago. Probably because the peak time for comments has passed, there are only 2 replies. However, Lin Luoran can't help clicking on it. The title is too attractive for Lin Luoran at this time. Poor aptitude and no hope for cultivation. Selling a grade 2 alchemy furnace. An alchemy furnace? Is it like someone sends a pillow to me when I'm sleepy? Lin Luoran thinks that grade 2 doesn't sound like a big deal, but it should be enough to deal with the elixirs she wants now. The picture of the post has been updated. A 2-foot-high, exquisitely carved bronze furnace appears in Lin Luoran's site. The owner of the alchemy furnace says that he wants to sell it. However, he only explains the origin of the furnace and that it is a treasure of his school. Since he is the only one left in his school, he can make the decision to sell it. The owner of the alchemy furnace doesn't indicate the price in the main post. He only says that people who want it will leave a message to reply and the price will be discussed later. Lin Luoran almost laughs when she sees the 2 replies. One is, selling the treasure of the school? The owner is an ungrateful person. Appraisal complete. The other is, moderator, lock this liar in a small dark room. The school of alchemy has long been gone. There is no treasure left. After laughing, the second message catches Lin Luoran's attention. The school of alchemy? Is it a school that specializes in making elixirs? Although the Reiki in the world is restless nowadays and the spirit herbs found in the deep mountains are not pure, they make elixirs for a living. They should have something. Lin Luoran is full of doubts. She sends a private message to the person named Unfilial Apprentice of Alchemy. Well, if Lin Luoran didn't know that the forum has its own staff to verify the real identity of each user and the moderator of the post has pinned it, she would have suspected that it is a scam. The time this person registered was actually 10 minutes before the post was made. The Unfilial Apprentice of Alchemy replies quickly, I will only exchange the alchemy furnace for spirit items, not for sale. This is what Lin Luoran expected. However, when Lin Luoran asks him what he wants, the Unfilial Apprentice of Alchemy keeps silent for a while. When Lin Luoran urges him, the person asks, what bolus do you want to make with the butterfly bush flower? Lin Luoran rolls her eyes. How can I tell you that I want to make a foundation-laying bolus? I'm not a fool. Lin Luoran doesn't answer the question. She directly asks if she can exchange the 100-year-old Polygonum multiflorum. If not, what level of spirit medicine does she need? The person doesn't hesitate at all. He sends a mocking emoji. I have even sold the alchemy furnace of my school. What do I need your spirit herbs for? Lin Luoran is always good-tempered, but she is also speechless. Is this an acquaintance of hers trying to make fun of her? Lin Luoran is not in the mood to talk with him. When she is about to block him, the person sends another message, which finally gets to the point, I will stop teasing you. You can have the alchemy furnace, but I want the bolus you made in the first furnace. The bolus I made in the first furnace? Lin Luoran frowns. The person asks her to give him the address quickly. Lin Luoran leaves the address of the villa in Qingqing. When she is about to say something, the person's profile turns black. She checks and finds that the person is offline. Lin Luoran's fingers holding the mouse are stiff. This person is so strange. He didn't even tell her when to deliver the bolus. How can he be so sure that she will give him the first furnace? Chapter 146. Both of her posts have received more than 100 replies. Lin Luoran wonders how there are so many cultivators in the state of Huaxia. When she sees an ID called Poor Congenital Cultivator, she finally understands. Maybe there aren't many cultivators in the state of Huaxia, but all the major forces have a large number of cultivators in reserve. Even though cultivation is getting more and more difficult, The skills of cultivators in the level of training Qi are still unfathomable to ordinary people. If they have the chance to embark on the path of cultivation, why wouldn't they work hard? However, the cultivation world nowadays had declined too much. Most of the disciples who replied didn't even know what the butterfly bush flower was, let alone exchange for it. How could the main ingredient of the foundation building pill be so unknown? The other post has more replies, but no one dares to bid. Lin Luoran sighs. She is a little anxious. Cultivation is so weak now. How can these ordinary cultivators offer something of equal value? It seems that she still has to find a major force for an exchange. Lin Luoran frowns. She doesn't like this exchange mode where she may lose control of the situation. When she is thinking, her phone rings. It is Baojia, who vaguely says that she won't go back to Mount Qingqing tonight. Lin Luoran has something on her mind, so she doesn't take it seriously. In Commander Qin's home, Baojia hangs up the phone and sits on the sofa in a daze. Commander Qin pats her hand. If I had known that you didn't like the boy of the Lu family, I wouldn't have arranged this marriage. Isn't it perfect now? She can't blame Commander Qin for being snobbish. The dream of cultivation has been bothering the Qin family for generations. Now that it can be realized by his granddaughter, he certainly doesn't want her to be trapped in the love of mortals like her grandmother. Baojia frowns. I always feel sorry for Master Lu. She doesn't expect that Lu Jing comes to the courtyard today to break off the engagement. Baojia doesn't think that it is a shame for her to break off the engagement. Instead, she knows the importance of this marriage to the two families. The higher her status is, the tighter the Lu family will be with the Qin family. How can the Lu family agree to break off the engagement? Master Lu must be here on his own. Commander Qin is determined to kill again. Ever since the incident with Zhou Yaowei, he is sure that the Lu family is the kind of family that can only share wealth and not adversity. Even if Lu Jing doesn't come to break off the engagement, he will never agree to this kind of marriage. Only Lu Sanchun, who accidentally hears about breaking off the engagement, is smiling all day today. People in the troop all say that Mr. Lu's good news is coming and they will have a good life in the future. So the whole troop is happy today. When Lin Luoran returns to the villa on Mount Qingqing alone, it is already dark. After dinner, Li Shi'er tells Lin Luoran that Goldie hasn't flown for 2 days. She asks Lin Luoran to take it for a ride. This is a very considerate suggestion. Lin Luoran doesn't doubt it. She really wants to take Goldie for a ride. Lin Luoran waits for another few hours. In the middle of the night, when all the lights in the villa are out, Lin Luoran starts to act. The mountain is vast and the night is boundless. No one can take a picture of Goldie, which is exactly what Lin wants. Luo Dong has been trying to get close to Goldie these days, but he doesn't have the guts. Lin Luoran can take him with her. Lin Luoran holds Luo Dong in her arms and gets on Goldie's back. Goldie stretches its wings and chirps happily. It is the first time for Lin Luoran to sit on Goldie's back after more than 2 months. Luo Dong wants to scream, but he covers his mouth tightly. Goldie flaps its wings and flies over the villa, over the ancient trees, over the mountain, and finally to the highest peak. Li Shi'er smiles with her eyelashes fluttering. She hops out of the yard. Seeing Li's evil smile, Chu Yi sighs with emotion. I have a daughter who has just grown up. He is about to follow Li, but Mr. Lin stops him and asks him to play 2 more rounds of chess. When Chu Yi looks back, Li is already far away. Anyway, there is no danger in the villa. Chu Yi just thinks that Li has a little secret of her own, so he lets her go. There is still light in the number 7 villa. There are several bodyguards hiding in the dark downstairs. There are many mosquitoes on the mountain, so they are all attacking them. Li Shi'er sneaks closer and sees a slippery tree on the side of the villa. The tree is too tall and straight for ordinary people to climb up. The bodyguards just pretend to patrol the area. In fact, they think that Chairman AI is delusional. He is rich, but he is not a politician. Who would kill him for no reason? However, he has to bring many bodyguards when he comes to recuperate. Security companies are the happiest people. Li Shi doesn't know any lightness kung fu, but she is a cultivator in the middle stage of training Qi, who is spoiled by her master. If she can't handle such a small problem, she can't be a cultivator in the state of Huaxia anymore. After coming back from the secret land, Li Shi ponders over the painful experience and finally removes the small copper bell from the bundling rope. While the bodyguards are patrolling, she casts a spell and the bundling rope coils around a big tree. With the help of the magic weapon, Li Shi climbs up the tree easily. Then she coils around the railing of the balcony and gently climbs over to the balcony. The purple curtain is fluttering in the breeze. It is almost the same color as Li Shi's dress. She hides behind the curtain so that no one can find her. Ellie is removing her makeup, so she has no idea that someone is hiding outside the window. While she is applying eye cream, her phone rings. She looks at the number and picks it up grumpily. Li Anping, is your leg okay? Ellie doesn't know what Li Anping is talking about. She sneers. Medical fee? Do you think I am Lin Luoran or do you think you are prettier than Panin? Hearing the name Lin Luoran, Li Shi is alarmed and holds her breath. Ali and Li Anping quarreled on the phone, revealing each other's shortcomings. They almost told each other about the past. The more Li Shi hears, the angrier she gets. She clenches her fists. After that, Ellie sends a message to Chu Yi to thank him. She waits for a while and then goes to sleep angrily. Li Shi hears Ellie's steady breathing and sneaks into the room. She sighs. This woman is so ugly without makeup. Can she really be Miss Lin's former rival in love? Why does she want to hurt the Lin family? Li thinks for a long time but still can't figure it out. She is not convinced. However, this woman doesn't deserve to be sentenced to death. After thinking for a while, Li's eyes light up. Li Shi makes a complicated gesture with her right hand and casts a spell of the nature of gold over Ellie's head. After a while, Li Shi smiles with satisfaction and sneaks out of the number 7 villa as usual. Lin Luoran and Luodong don't come back until Lin Luoran goes back to her room and smiles to herself. Li Shi can hear Luodong's bell-like laughter through the wall. She laughs even louder. That night, Li Shi wakes up with laughter several times in her dreams. The next day, Ellie is woken up by the sound of a text message. Taking off the blindfold, Ellie feels that her face is fluffy. She touches the phone and her attention is soon attracted by the sender of the text message. It turns out that Chu Yi also wants to know Ellie's background. That's why he waits until the morning to reply. Both of them have their own thoughts and soon they are chatting happily. Ellie says that she will come to Chu Yi's house to thank him. Chu Yi vaguely says that his master is not home. Not home? That's great. Ellie laughs and goes downstairs in her nightgown. The middle-aged housekeeper is pushing Grandpa AI to eat breakfast. Everyone is looking at Ellie in shock. Ellie is scared by their eyes. She is about to ask when a bodyguard finds the license plate of villa number 18 registered in the property management office. He is about to ask for credit when he is shocked by the ghost-like Miss Ellie. He doesn't care about his seniority and says in surprise, "Miss, your hair." Hair? What's wrong with her hair? Ellie touches it and is stunned by the cool and smooth touch on the top of her head. She rushes upstairs. When she sees herself in the bathroom, a sharp female voice pierces through the roof of the number 7 villa. Ellie's head is bald, her eyebrows are shaved, and even her eyelashes are cut to the root. Idiots. All of you are idiots. Ellie's grandpa is trembling with anger. The housekeeper sees that he is panting, so she hurries to bring the medicine to him. Ellie wraps herself in her clothes and refuses to come out of the bathroom. The bodyguards check her room thoroughly. They find nothing except her hair scattered all over the bed. Footprints? Fingerprints? The bark of the big tree in front of the window is still intact. Where did the thief get in? The bodyguards check the surveillance video of the villa and even the shadow of a ghost can be found. Therefore, the bodyguards privately say that Miss Ellie has encountered a ghost-shaved head. Ellie is usually arrogant and doesn't take these bodyguards seriously. At this time, no one helps her to refute the rumor. The news that she was shaved by a ghost gradually spreads out. Many people in the security company know about it first. Because they provide security services for many rich people, Ellie's story gradually circulates in a certain circle. The ghost shaving incident of Fortune House becomes a joke in their spare time. Number 7 villa is busy until noon, but they don't even find a hair of the intruder. Recently, Ellie's grandpa believes in the power of ghosts and gods. Everyone says that a ghost shaved head. He is not sure about it, so he dials a number. I hope I don't disturb you. The person on the other side of the phone seems to be in a good mood. Ellie carefully mentions the ghost shaved head. The person on the other side of the phone is a little interested. Hearing that the whereabouts of the Golden Hawk has been confirmed and it lives in the direction of number 18 villa all day long, the master on the other side of the phone laughs and decides to solve the problem in person. Grandpa Ellie heaves a sigh of relief. His medicine is almost finished. This time he can ask the master to give him more. Looking at his crying granddaughter, Grandpa Ellie suddenly feels a little irritable. He tries his best to suppress it and comforts Ellie. Ellie, don't cry. The master may come in person in a few days. There will be an explanation for what happened to you. As for number 18 villa, let's put it aside for now. Put it aside for now? Will she just let go of her hair? Ellie's eyes flash with strong hatred. Chapter 147. In the capital, thousands of miles away, in a top sanatorium, the Zhou family's baby son is sitting in a wheelchair. The nurse is about to push him to the rehabilitation room. His qi and blood seem fine, but his spirit is very low. He looks like a lonely old man who has lost all hope in life. Mrs. Zhou pushes the door open and sees this scene that she is used to. She tries hard to suppress the hysterical hatred in her heart. She smiles and says, "Yahweh, I have good news for you." Zhou Yahweh turned around and finally showed an expression, but it was a sarcastic one. "What good news? Don't tell me that you have found some elixirs." Mrs. Zhou's face changes. In fact, she doesn't blame Zhou Yahweh for his reaction. In the past few months, they have found countless so-called elixirs through various channels. However, they can only make Zhou Yahweh gain some fat. They can't even help him stand up, let alone restore his personal ability. But this time, it must be different. Mrs. Zhou is more confident. The nurse has already left, leaving only Mrs. Zhou and her son in the room. She is still so careful. It seems that the setbacks in the past few months have made her smarter. "Your master will go and get the elixirs himself." Mrs. Zhou's voice is getting lower and lower. In the end, her voice is almost a whisper. However, Zhou Yahweh's lifeless eyes are getting brighter and brighter. If his master is willing to go, it means that the elixirs this time are not ordinary. Zhou Yahweh's face turns red. When he gets better, the bitch will die. That he has to torture her to death. Otherwise, how can he vent his hatred? Lin Luoran. It is said that she has advanced again. He can use her to nourish his body. Zhou Yahweh lowers his head and hisses. This is not the laughter of a human being. At this moment, the only child of the Zhou family in the capital is more like a trapped beast trapped in a deep pit. In this world, only an injured beast is more terrible than a wild beast. If it doesn't die in the trap, it will kill the enemy and bite off the enemy's throat. What kind of beast is Zhou Yahweh? While Zhou Yahweh is swearing, the house of Lin's family is warm and lively. She did not know if there was a specialized logistics company for the transactions on the forum, but the alchemy furnace that she had ordered yesterday had actually arrived. There is no need to hide the fact that there are transaction records on the BBS. Lin Luoran opens the package and everyone gathers around to have a look. The body of the cauldron was bronze in color, and there were carvings of the Qiongqi beast on both sides. It was said that this was a gluttonous divine beast, and fighting with it for food would not end well. Thus, it was used to guard the cauldron and pray for a higher rate of core formation. The furnace is smaller than it looks in the picture. In addition to the alchemy furnace, there is also an instruction manual printed on A4 paper, which explains several simple spells to start the furnace. Lin Luoran has a photographic memory. After memorizing the instructions, she burns the paper into ashes. Following the spell, she tries to inject fire Reiki into the furnace. The lid buzzes and is finally opened by Lin. Chu Yi doesn't want to arouse suspicion, But Li Shi almost sticks her face into the furnace. The inside of the furnace is not a simple container. There are many small compartments on the inside of the furnace, and each compartment is connected to a small round table in the middle. Lin Luoran can't see the more complicated structure at first glance, but she can tell that the compartments are the devices to put all kinds of herbs, and the holes are for the herbs to flow into the round table and then condense into boluses. There are many steps in the process. No matter how sophisticated the alchemy furnace is, there are still more steps that the alchemist needs to master. Lin Luoran thinks that the novel is deceptive, and she remembers her experience of making the skin beauty bolus last time. Maybe the two kinds of boluses are of different levels, but on a deeper level, there should be no conflict between the two kinds of boluses. Putting away the alchemy furnace, Lin Luoran remembers that she signed up for Luodong. Of course, Mr. and Mrs. Lin didn't object to it. In the eyes of the elders, a person's family background is to go to school. Otherwise, they wouldn't have supported Lin Luoran all the way to college even though their family was poor. Thinking of Luodong going to school, Lin Luoran remembers the great wish she made in the underwater palace. Although it is not that exaggerated, it is necessary for her to learn the words of the past generations. There is no end to learning. Without accumulation, how can she pave the way for her future cultivation? Lin Luoran sighs. Is it better to borrow some books in the city to study by herself, or to study with a tutor? The grades of alchemy furnaces and magic treasures were completely opposite, from 1 to 9. The higher the grade, the better the quality. Alchemy furnaces of the 9th grade were the best, matching the legendary 9 transformations golden pill that alchemy disciples pursued all their lives. In fact, alchemy doesn't exist anymore. The original tools for making boluses are scattered all over the land, and the treasures are covered with dust. Lin Luoran is lucky to get this level 2 alchemy furnace. However, she got the level 5 magic weapon, Sword of Bright Snow, at the beginning, so she is not satisfied with it. Lin Luoran sorts out the prescriptions of boluses in her head. There are only a few. There are 2 kinds of boluses suitable for cultivators in the level of training qi: Nourishing Qi Bolus and Gathering Qi Bolus. The former is a level 1 low-rank bolus, and the latter is a level 1 high-rank bolus. Both of them can be seen everywhere in the world of cultivation. Among the level 1 boluses, there is Fasting Bolus. In Lin Luoran's opinion, using spirit herbs to make boluses is not as bad as eating food in the secular world. It is not worth it to use spirit herbs to make boluses instead of eating, so Lin Luoran doesn't consider it at the beginning. As for the foundation-laying bolus, according to its level, it is a real level 4 bolus. Lin Luoran is not arrogant enough to make it at the beginning. According to the grade of the alchemy furnace, if an alchemist uses a second-grade alchemy furnace to make a first-grade bolus, the success rate of making a first-grade bolus will increase by 25%. Assuming that the alchemist has 30% of the required materials. If Lin uses a second-grade alchemy furnace to make a second-grade bolus, the success rate of making a first-grade bolus will be around 32%. If she wants to make boluses of a higher level, the success rate will decrease by 25%. If she tries to make a level 4 bolus with a level 2 alchemy furnace, the success rate will be less than 15%. To put it bluntly, if she shakes her hands, the bolus will be wasted. How many spirit herbs will she waste to make a foundation-laying bolus with a 15% success rate? Lin Luoran, a poor liberal arts student, has done the math. She comes to the conclusion that the best way to make a level 2 alchemy furnace is to make a nourishing qi bolus, without wasting spirit herbs. Lin Luoran has to sigh. Nourishing qi bolus is as useless as candy for her current level of cultivation. When Lin Luoran is thinking about when to make the nourishing qi bolus, a man gets out of a taxi with a warm smile on his face. He tells the guard that he is a visitor of number 7 villa. In the Qingqing Taoist temple over 10 miles away, old Taoist Huizhu is scolding young Taoistan. He seems to sense something and his skinny face becomes serious. Chapter 148. What does a master look like? To be honest, Ali was very curious about this master who saved the old man from the brink of death, but she didn't admire him at all. She didn't even believe in the ancient Chinese medicine of huaxia, let alone this kind of people who could turn into quacks. In Ellie's impression, the so-called master is nothing more than a man with a sloppy beard who pretends to be a master who enjoys worldly adventures. The other kind is a sage-like man who pretends to be a Taoist who has jumped out of the mortal world and is not stained by karma. However, can a woman with such a hot body also be a master? When this woman sits in the living room, wherever she looks, there seems to be thousands of little hands scratching your heart. This is the description that Ellie comes up with after thinking for a long time. Grandpa AI is too old to be attracted by any enchanting beauty. He simply turns a blind eye to the white chest and tells the master about the situation. The master covers her mouth and smiles. I know the owner of Villa number 18. Speaking of which, he is Miss Ellie's old friend. Grandpa AI looks at Ellie, who is wearing a wig and doesn't know what is going on. The master smiles and her white chest shakes. Ellie, who is also a woman, feels thirsty. The master says, I heard that he is a beauty with the surname Lin. Is he Miss Ellie's old friend? The beauty with the surname Lin. The first thing that comes to Ellie's mind is the 150 million yuan that she wasted in Rueli. The second thing that comes to her mind is Lin Luoran's beautiful face that can make her look better. Ellie hates both of them. Wait, is it Lin Luoran's doing to her hair? Ellie is both shocked and angry. Grandpa AI looks at her with a sullen face and asks her what is going on. Of course, Ellie stutters. She can't tell Ellie that she stole Lin Luoran's boyfriend and stopped her from working. Then Lin Luoran set a trap in Rueli and caused Fortune House to lose 155 million yuan. But Grandpa AI is old, but he is not muddle-headed. Looking at Ellie's expression, he knows there is something fishy. Villa number 18 is related to his life. No matter how much he loves his granddaughter, it is not as important as his own life, right? Under Grandpa AI's interrogation, Ellie reluctantly tells Ellie about the old grudge between her and Lin Luoran. As soon as she finishes her words, Grandpa AI slaps her. You are a disgrace to the AI family. Ellie doesn't expect that Grandpa will slap her in front of outsiders. She is stunned. Grandpa AI closes his eyes and feels remorseful. This is the successor he has chosen, but he is deceived by his granddaughter's seemingly smart and full of management jargon. How can she be the leader of Fortune House if she behaves like this? Grandpa AI was shaking with anger. How did we get our surname? Do you remember? There is a clear palm print on Ellie's right cheek. Grandpa AI is old but firm. The slap makes Ellie's right cheek swell quickly. Ellie's eyes turn red and she sobs. We are the descendants of the royal family. Her family is the direct descendant of Aizen Joro. If the Qing dynasty didn't fall, Ellie would still be the real Gitch. Because of her noble bloodline, Ellie always feels like she is a member of the British royal family. Also, because of the founding of the Qing dynasty, Ellie hates the state of Huaxia. She is willing to be a banana person who is yellow on the outside but white on the inside. But what does it have to do with this? Grandpa AI is disappointed. Since you know that you are a noble, you should focus on the overall situation. How could you ruin the capital chain of Fortune House just for your own pleasure? How many times has your father told you how Fortune House developed to where it is today? How many times has your grandmother told you about it? Ellie lowers her head. Everyone in the AI family knows about the history of Fortune House. When the capital was in turmoil, Grandpa AI's father, who is Ellie's great-grandfather, was a small bailey in the prince's mansion. When the monarchy was abolished, these nobles of the Qing dynasty didn't want to see the end of their power. They buried their precious jewels in the suburbs during the chaos and protected Ellie's great-grandfather all the way to the south. In the end, they encountered warlords in the center of Chuan province, which disrupted their plan to go to the sea. They had to stay in the center of Chuan province. They stayed until the founding of the Qing dynasty. At that time, the people of the Republic of China gathered together. It was impossible to restore the country. As time goes by, the ancestors of the AI family become more and more desperate. They gradually lose their fighting spirit. In the end, they simply use their hidden jewels and become a jewelry magnate in the center of Chuan province. Although they had become businessmen, they had never forgotten the decadent Manchurian Qing dynasty. That was why the company was called Fortune House. Everyone in the direct line of the AI family like Ellie knows about this history. Just like the Liu family also has to respect Grandpa AI, many people know about the past of the AI family. However, today's gun control is very strict. The era of forging weapons privately and rebelling with broadswords is gone. The head of the government doesn't care about the background of the AI family. He is happy to let them generate revenue for the government. He just pretends that he doesn't know about it. After reviewing this history, Ellie still doesn't know what Grandpa AI is talking about. Even the master can't help but smile. The little girl of the AI family is so stupid. It is much easier to get the jewels from her than from the old man. Anyway, he is going to die. Why should he waste the elixir that he has worked so hard to refine? The grandpa and granddaughter don't know that the mind of the master is quietly changing. Although Ellie's granddaughter is so stupid that Grandpa AI regrets it, he has already chosen this path. He has said in front of everyone that his granddaughter is the most like him when he was young. If he regrets now, it will be a slap on his own face. Grandpa AI cherishes his reputation so much that he can't bear the pain. He can only teach her in detail. How is your grandpa's reputation in the industry? Ellie's face hurts so much that tears are welling up in her eyes. She has to admit that Grandpa AI is a man of virtue and prestige. Grandpa AI snorts. Fortune House has destroyed many old stores over the years. Why doesn't anyone in the industry say anything? Ellie wants to say that it is fair and above board. She suddenly remembers that one year when she was still in junior high school, a bankrupt woman came to the door and hit her head in front of the big house of the AI family. At that time, Grandpa scolded his servants in front of the guests. He took the woman's hand and said that he would definitely solve the problem. 2 years later, in the autumn, the woman jumped from the 27th floor. The newspaper said that she took drugs and owed usury. No one suspected the AI family. Now that she thinks about it, there are many strange things in it. What did Grandpa do back then? Ellie suddenly shivers. Grandpa AI says in a flat and emotionless voice, "What's the big deal about robbing a man? Fortune House won't have many days if they don't fight for territory. But since you have done it, you should trample the original owner to death so that she can never rise again." Ellie opens her eyes wide and looks at Grandpa AI. It seems that she has met her grandpa for the first time. She forgets the pain on her face. Seeing that the grandpa and grandpa are going to quarrel, the Grandmaster stands up and says, "I won't disturb you." He walks out of the number 7 villa and walks slowly along the cement-winding mountain road. Qingqing is a holy land of Taoism since ancient times. In the past, with her identity, she would have to take a detour when she steps into the territory of Mount Qingqing, not to mention the Qingqing Taoist temple which is so close to it. But now, since the Tao of nature has abandoned these righteous people, she has nothing to fear. Just as Taoist Huizhu can sense her breath, she can also sense the so-called Tao of justice, which she hates. What is righteous and what is evil? Now she can do whatever she wants, but these righteous people don't even dare to use their Reiki. Are they still cultivators? They are just a group of people who are struggling and waiting to die. They are not as free as she is. Thinking of this, the enchanting woman can't help but laugh. 20 years ago, she was still a waste cultivator abandoned by the mainstream cultivation world. Who would have thought that she would come back from the dead and be reborn? Those who had once trampled her under the mud would eventually fall from the altar under her hands. Thinking about it now, it is so ridiculous. She is only in the level of laying foundation, but she just made a conclusion about her life. Well, I will show you what a different life of cultivation is. The enchanting woman giggles. The incense burner in Huizhu's house suddenly bursts into fierce sparks. The incense made by young Taoist and has been ruined. The enchanting woman stops smiling. The gate of villa number 18 is already in sight. Goldie, who is hiding behind the villa, suddenly feels an inexplicable restlessness. It flaps its wings and makes a short and urgent cry. which awakens Lin Luoran, who is studying the prescription of boluses. Why, the wind suddenly blows. Is it going to rain? Lin Luoran remembers that her father is fishing in the lake outside the villa. She looks out of the window and sees that her mother has gone out with an umbrella hanging behind the door. Lin Luoran smiles and continues to study the prescription of boluses. Suddenly, she sees a woman in black on the mountain road. Which villa does she belong to? Lin Luoran is afraid that she will get wet in the rain. The woman in black raises her head. Lin Luoran has extraordinary eyesight. She sees a face that seems to be able to speak with her eyes. She has a charming figure, which is quite attractive. A muffled thunder suddenly strikes. It seems that a rainy summer is coming as usual. The trees on the mountain begin to shake violently with the wind. The dark clouds in the sky are getting darker and darker. Lin Luoran can hardly breathe. Finally, Mr. Lin puts away the fishing rod under her mother's urging. Mrs. Lin murmurs and goes to find Luodong, who is still playing in the back of the mountain. Li Shi'er is holding Luodong's hand and running back happily. Chu Yi still has a helpless expression on his face. He admires Li Shi'er for being able to play in the mud with a kid. This is a perfect and harmonious picture of family. Lin Luoran, who is staying in the room at this time, has no idea that sometimes a person's fate can be changed by throwing a small stone on this seemingly beautiful and calm lake. Plop! Luodong kicks a stone into the lake and the water immediately disappears. A flash of lightning illuminates the dark sky. Bean-sized raindrops finally pour down. This is the first summer rain of the year. Young Master N is walking on a path in the mountain with a huge lotus leaf on his head. The leaf is not enough to shelter him from the heavy rain. Young Master N looks up at the direction of Lin's house. His white cloth shoes are not stained by the mud at all. He is so fast that there is no dust on his feet. However, can he make it in time? Chapter 149. When young Master N arrives at Lin's villa, the rain is at its heaviest. The iron thorns in the yard of the Lin family have already entangled the iron railings, making it difficult for young Master N to see clearly through the wall. He can only hear the sound of the rain hitting the glass window, which is like the feeling of big and small pearls falling on a jade plate, as described in ancient poems. Apart from that, the entire Lin's villa is very quiet. Young Master N can't help but feel nervous when he thinks of Huizhu's solemn words and the current situation of Lin's villa. The big lotus leaf that was used as an umbrella can't stand the rain. There is a big hole in it. Young Master N throws it away and rushes into the rain. The rain only stays on the tip of the grass for a short while. Soon, it quietly converges into a stream under the lawn. The stream flows through the gaps of the cobblestone path into the open-air swimming pool. The grass and dead branches are also brought into the pool. The blue swimming pool becomes very dirty. Young Master N pushes open the half-closed glass door. The bloody scene of Lin's family members and elders doesn't happen. Instead, in the transparent greenhouse, he smells the fragrance of the Sioux heart orchid. The sound of the rain is so loud that it covers the conversation of Lin's family. Young Master N made an apologetic gesture. He looked around and found the only unfamiliar face. It was a woman dressed in black tights. At first glance, she looked like she was in her early 20s, but from her side profile, she looked like she was in her 40s. Her nose bridge was very high, and her facial features were deep. Her black vest only covered her chest, and she looked very sexy. Although it was obvious that she was an Asian woman, she was more inclined to the exotic beauty of the West. Unlike young Master N, who has been on tenterhooks all the way here, the atmosphere in the greenhouse is very harmonious. The woman in black is holding a cup of hot tea and talking happily with Lin Luoran. Young Master N Lin Luoran stands up and greets him more warmly than usual. She is smiling as if she doesn't know how dangerous the woman in black is. There are only the woman in black, Lin Luoran, Chu Yi, and Li Shi in the greenhouse. The two elders of the Lin family are not here, and neither is little Luodong. Young Master N feels a little relieved. He makes a deep bow and says, "Lay Buddhist, my master Huizhu knows that you are here. He asked me to invite you to Qingqing Taoist Temple." The woman in black covers her mouth and smiles. Lay Buddhist? How could I be worthy of such a title? But since the Abbey Dean has invited me, I really don't dare to refuse. She put down the teacup. Her actions were very proper, but they were more charming than the others. Young Taoist and seemed to be in a hurry. He said that the woman in black was not in a hurry, but looking at his expression, he was too embarrassed to slow down. Lin Luoran keeps asking him to stay and walks him to the door in person. The woman in black and young master in each hold an umbrella and leave. When they walk out of the gate of Lin's house, the woman in black suddenly turns around and smiles at the big tree behind the house where Goldie is resting. Goldie, who is already very depressed, almost explodes again. What a rare golden hawk! The woman in black whispered to herself. Suddenly she looked up and said, Sister Lin, let's talk about the Tao of Bolus when I go to Qingcheng Taoist Temple? Lin Luoran nods and smiles. When the woman in black and young master are gone, Lin Luoran bites her lips and almost collapses. Chu Yi and Li Shi both thought that this woman was an ordinary person, and Li Shi thought so in the beginning because she didn't have the Reiki fluctuation of a cultivator. But it was this point that made people suspicious. Lin Luoran comes to Lin Luoran in the rain. At first, the dull Mr. Lin takes the initiative to greet her. He says that the rain is heavy and invites her to take shelter in the house. Then, cultivators like Chu Yi and Li Shi, who don't easily make friends with mortals, also have a good impression of her. Even herself, Lin Luoran's eyes turn cold. She also inexplicably invites Lin Luoran to the greenhouse. Mr. and Mrs. Lin go to the kitchen to cook hot pot. Lin Luoran doesn't realize that something is wrong until Lin Luoran serves her a cup of hot tea. Even though there are some amiable people in the world, not everyone is infatuated with her. Because people have different aesthetic standards, they will have different reactions to different people. However, the whole Lin family treats this woman in black like a friend they have known for many years. Chu Yi and Li Shi also love every word she says. Why are they so fascinated by what she says when she is just talking about some trivial things? There is only one explanation for all these unreasonable things. The woman in black is not an ordinary person. Lin Luoran is alert, but she doesn't dare to move. She doesn't even dare to use her spiritual mind to probe. If this woman really had a great background and was really a cultivator, what was her purpose in coming to the Lin family? Is she just passing by, or does she have other purposes? While others are chatting and drinking tea, Lin Luoran is tormented by these thoughts, which make her restless. Fortunately, she has the experience in the Arctic. Now, her body and mind are very close to water. Drops of water converge into an ocean, and water can also carry things. Otherwise, under the heavy pressure, Lin Luoran may not be able to hold on until young master arrives. Why does the superior of Qingcheng Taoist Temple send in here at this moment? Is it because Lin Luoran holds the doors ill and feels a chill on her back? Before she knows it, her lapel has been soaked. Lin Luoran tries to calm herself down. If the woman in black is really here to cause her trouble and even the superior of Qingcheng Taoist Temple is afraid of her, it will be a blessing, not a curse. If it is a curse, she can't avoid it. At that time, Lin Luoran secretly clenches her fists. She is just running away with her parents. The woman won't vent her anger on Li Shi and the others. Lin Luoran makes up her mind and goes back to the villa. Standing on the stairs, Mrs. Lin is confused. She doesn't know why she was so enthusiastic to a strange woman. Seeing her daughter standing in the rain, Mrs. Lin shouts. Then she forgets about this strange thing and goes to call everyone to have hot pot. Lin Luoran smiles and pretends to be relaxed. She doesn't mention anything about the woman in black. After eating the hot pot cooked by her mother, Lin Luoran goes back to her room in the name of studying the prescription of bolus. Goldie sticks its head out of the window. The rain doesn't wet its feathers. Instead, its golden feathers are even cleaner. Lin Luoran touches Goldie's head and takes out a 7-star grass to feed it. Goldie swallows it lazily and turns its head from time to time. It doesn't go to the mountains to hunt for food like it used to, nor does it fall asleep. It seems to be restless. Goldie, do you also feel restless? When will the rain stop? Lin Luoran touches the bead on her wrist. She doesn't pay any attention to the prescription of bolus on the table. If she runs away now, the smell of her family will be washed away by the rain. Goldie is fast and it can take her parents away. It won't be a big burden to take Mr. and Mrs. Lin along with Luodong. Lin Luoran has the sword of bright snow. She can fly on her sword and it won't be slow. However, why does the superior of Qingqing Taoist Temple fight for the Lin family? Even if he does, how long can he buy? Lin Luoran sighs while touching the bead. She looks out of the window and has a panoramic view of Mount Qingqing. On the green land under the shade of trees, the rain never stops, and even the sound of insects and frogs is gone. That you're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.